Paging Dr. Juan. Paging Dr. Juan. Paging Dr. Juan. Paging Dr. Juan.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode 25 of Revive America.
What's up?
Live.
What's up? Yo, 25 episodes, man.
Ain't that something?
That's we a quarter way to 100.
That's it, bro.
That's
it. And thank you,
Bro.
everybody that's followed us on this
Yo.
entire journey.
It's awesome.
I'm your host, Billy Prempeh, some guy named Bill on Instagram.
And I am your host, Dave Herrera, not your typical politician. And I just want y'all to be excited about this show. Like, if you're just hopping on, like, there were
Welcome.
so many articles this week. There's so much happening this week that it was really, really hard to kind of narrow it down and try to get the show under an hour and a half. I know we've been running a little long lately, but the world's screwed up, man.
Yeah,
the world is screwed up.
Dave and I had a conversation earlier today where he was like, yo, we got to cut some of these stories out,
Seriously.
man. And just kind of focus on some of the biggest ones that are going on right now. But
Yeah.
that's even tougher
I mean,
than
like,
it sounds.
the show starts at 8, and I literally had to take a slide out and add one at like 7:58. So
Yeah.
let's get into it because we got a long show again. Thank you guys for joining. Please share this link. Let your friends know we are live. Check us out, please. We do this for you guys. So
Absolutely.
let's get into it. We're starting off. Maybe not. I don't know.
I'm sorry. Give me a minute.
It's all good, man.
It's just not.
All
changing.
right.
There we go.
Starting with the big dog,
Everyone's
Justice
favorite Justice.
Thomas. Now, the Supreme Court's been really busy over the last couple of days.
Yeah.
This story not as big as the second one, but basically Clarence Thomas has now renewed an attack. This is the CNN, obviously, so this is how they renews attack on First Amendment in fiery dissent. Okay, basically what he's saying is that so there was a case, the New York Times versus Sydney, right? And this is from 1974. And basically the Supreme Court at the time gave a lot more leniency to social media platforms and to political figures as far as libel, slander, and defamation go.
Yeah.
Now, we obviously are in a world of information where it's at your fingertips, and we're seeing that. So basically all Clarence is trying to say is we're giving a lot of protections to these news outlets to say and do whatever it is they want to do, and is that really fair? I'm not on camera?
No, you're on camera.
Oh.
Just trying to make you look beautiful on camera.
Dr.
that's
Juan
all.
on camera. How do I look now? Ugly, right? Fuck.
You look exactly the same.
Just wanted to bring it down. Go ahead.
All right. Distracting me. So basically, yeah, they're now going to renew this and say, listen, because if you or I go on social media and we say certain things about people that turn out to not be true, what is that?
Oh, that's slander. That's
Slander.
libel.
It's libel.
Technically.
Defamation.
Yeah.
And you'll be sued. So why is it that these multi-million-dollar corporations and entities are allowed to say and do whatever it is they want, and they're not liable to the same ramifications that you or I are?
And that's something that I said needed to change for a very long time.
Mm.
You know, because with social media, for example, it acts as if it acts like a public utility. Everybody has access to it. Everybody can kind of do what needs to be done on it. Granted, you know, obviously the platform does have rules. But when the platform now starts to edit the things that you're saying, it starts to delete some of the things you're saying. Now you're acting as an editor.
Right.
You're no longer acting
You're
as
not
a
free
public
speech.
utility. Exactly
Right.
my point.
I
right?
mean, yeah.
Because
you're right.
technically, anything that you or I post on social media, Mark Zuckerberg can't be held responsible for that, right? That's already an established fact.
Right.
So if that's the case, if you're coming in and you're adjusting, deleting, shadow banning, doing all these kinds of things, now you're acting as the editor on this platform. You're not a public utility anymore.
Well, look at what I sent you earlier. I did a video last week where I did almost like a recap of what people missed, and it's literally it's a video of me standing in front of news articles just reading them, and TikTok took it down and said that I understand you might have a different opinion, but you're spreading misinformation. I'm
in
like,
fact, read what it says, bro. Read what it says. I mean, we shouldn't be surprised. It's the CCP to be.
But even still, it said, look, so your video is removed, right? And it was like, in a global community, it's natural for people to have different opinions, but we seek to operate on a shared set of facts and reality. We do not allow inaccurate, misleading, or false content that may cause significant harm to individuals or societies, regardless of intent. Significant harm includes physical, psychological, or societal harm and property damage.
What?
I was just sharing news articles from CNN and Fox.
I didn't write this.
I
Don't
didn't
shoot the
write this.
messenger.
And all I did was read them. I literally just pointed and read them, and I'm spreading misinformation. So, again, CNN can say it. Fox can say it. Newsmax can say it. Dave, with his 1,000 TikTok followers, I can't say it.
Public nuisance, this man.
Get out of here. But they can get away with that. And I think what Clarence Thomas is trying to do is everybody needs to be held to the same standard.
I agree.
Just because you're in a multi-million-dollar corporation doesn't mean you're exempt. And because Dave and Billy want to say something means that they're able to get shit on.
Right.
I mean,
Kind of like our Revive America podcast, like what happened to us on Twitch the other day, right?
Twitch, YouTube,
Same.
Facebook.
Instagram.
Instagram.
Despite the tremendous growth over the weekend.
Crazy.
Speaking of that, talk about that for a second, man.
Bro, I don't even know.
Yeah, break it down for the audience.
Shout out. So obviously Billy had to Revive for a while, but it wasn't really like pushing that page. When we started this podcast, I think it had like 400 likes,
Yeah,
500
it was
likes.
nothing crazy.
It was just there.
Actually, correction. When I was doing Revive America in 2021, I didn't even have a Facebook page. I was live streaming directly from my
Okay.
my personal
All
Facebook
right.
page. I made the Instagram group when we started. So
Yeah.
we started with about 200, and then
Yeah.
it kind of just stayed there.
Yeah.
And then
We started doing real videos,
Right.
and in the last like month, the Revive America Instagram page has gone from like
last episode,
yeah,
literally
since,
the
all
last
right.
episode.
So in the last week, we went from like 1,000 or so followers to over 18,000 followers. So Jamaican horns that one. And my Instagram over the last 2 months has gone from like 2,000 to almost 13,000, and it's just like it's really a really cool experience, right? I know you've had a following for a long
Yeah.
time.
Now they put a cap on it.
Yeah, no, you're done.
I can't. I haven't been able to go
you're
past
done.
50,000 followers since 2021.
But that's
despite
amazing.
all
That's
the
still
stuff.
an amazing number.
It is. Yeah.
That's crazy. You
But
know
they don't
what I
want.
mean?
They don't want anyone else to know though.
Dude,
like,
I remember before I started my first campaign, I think I had like 980 followers, and I think and that was for like ever. I've had an Instagram for 10 years.
Right.
I think when I finally broke 1,000, I was like, "Let's go!" I made it. Like I even almost made like a post on my story, like "Congrats to 1,000!" Like now I literally like went to bed and woke up and had 1,000 new followers, and I was like, "It's cool, right?" And not even in a cocky way. Like it's just really cool to like be doing what we're doing. And speaking out truth and like finding people all around the country and the world that are like, yes,
yeah.
for real. Like you're talking what we believe in. And it's just cool to know you're not alone, especially when we live in areas like we live in, you know?
And you know the thing that's crazy about it is like seeing how quick the growth happened in that short period of time. Like we were talking about this on the phone.
Mhm.
I was like, there's people that are, and granted, there were some people bickering inside the comments, but a
They're
whole
funny.
bunch of people, right?
They're funny.
A whole bunch of people jumped on board and started following the page because they obviously agree with what we're talking about.
Or
They
they
actually
hate
like what we're
us.
saying, or they probably hate us. But I don't. You got to be very invested to follow a page that you hate, just so that you can constantly hate on. Those
What do you mean
people.
there's that lady who comments? She's arguing with herself.
I don't know. Oh, that Fields, whatever.
Yeah,
her
she
name is.
argued with
What is her
herself.
problem, dude?
Bro, I don't know. She was one of those people that I met along the campaign trail that was like, I'm a Republican like you, like fist bump, followed me.
Cool.
And then like as I started posting stories would like have like a dissenting opinion. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Like you're entitled to that.
It's fine.
And then like it kept going, kind of like that Parliament guy, right?
Parliament,
that Cat
yeah.
45 guy that
Oh, that
follows
guy's
me.
interesting, bro.
You know? And I was just like, listen, you're totally entitled to your opinion, but here's the reality, both of y'all. I don't follow your pages. You follow my
Right,
page. If
right.
you're not agreeing with my opinion, again, there's thousands of other Instagram pages,
have to follow.
millions of other Instagram pages that believe just like you. You don't have to follow me. And they'll turn around like, well, you ran for public office. It's like, that's
Okay.
great, but I'm still entitled to my free speech and
Exactly.
say whatever it is I want to
Exactly.
say. If you don't like it, that's fine. Go away.
Yeah, but then the second you say something,
Oh. Yeah.
Clutch the pearls.
Yeah, they're like, she's like, you blocked me from tagging you in comments. I was like, I don't even know how to do that.
Right?
I was like, everybody else can tag me,
I
but
didn't even know
you
you could do that.
you can't. That's just her not knowing how to use
You
Instagram.
either just get blocked or that's it.
Yeah, like I allow you to be on the page because I think you're kind of funny.
All right, why not?
Your
After all, it
comedic
builds
relief.
engagement.
Like there was the video Joe Biden fell down, right? Remember when he tripped over the sandbag? And I was like, this is the leader of the free world. And she was in my inbox like, I fall all the time. There's nothing wrong with me. And I'm like, you're not the president
Cool
of the United
story.
States. Like, get out of my inbox.
Right,
Like,
cool
what are you
story, man.
doing? Oh, man.
But this is why we need free speech, ladies and gentlemen, even for the speech that you don't agree with.
Even for the people that just speak to hear themselves.
Yeah.
Love
yeah.
y'all, though. Thanks for following.
Crazy.
Moving on, though.
Yeah.
This one is big.
Oh, yes.
Now let go ahead. Take
yes.
this over.
So this is very interesting. So for those of you guys that don't know, the Supreme Court, they just got rid of affirmative action, right?
What's that?
So for the people that don't know, affirmative action basically states that blacks and minorities are disadvantaged and they're not able to reach the same milestones that other races do. Affirmative action flat out is racist. It's a racist policy. And then when I see some of the comments, and I don't know if you have any of the slides of some of the madness
No,
that
but
people said.
it's crazy, dude.
Should have put some up. But some of the
I have one like literally implanted in my
Your-
brain.
your
It was
head?
literally a white woman, and I'll let you go.
that's
And
the
she
one.
was like,
Yeah.
"Now black people are never gonna be able to succeed
Yes.
in a merit-based system."
I'm like, what are you talking about?
dude, it's the most racist shit ever.
So basically, what you're saying, and the saddest part about this, bro, is like, of course, there's gonna be some white liberal that's gonna say some nonsense and be
Right.
the white knight. That's
Right,
understood,
right.
right? But the thing that upsets me the most, bro, is like there's even black people that are like, oh, we can't make it in a merit-based society. Like, what are you trying to say? You're trying to say that you don't offer value?
Yeah.
You have any idea how many United States has more black millionaires than any other country on the planet. This is a fact.
Dude,
Anybody
it's
can look it up.
crazy.
It's a fact.
It's crazy.
Right.
Look at who the highest paid athletes are, musicians are, some of the actors, Will Smith, Denzel Washington. You know what I mean?
Well, those are just entertainment. They
Yeah.
only want the black people for the entertainment because that's why we need affirmative action so we can make it to the next level. That's going to be the bullshit.
Listen, I'd rather be rich being an entertainer than fucking working at Wendy's.
100%.
You know?
100%.
But you know what the funniest part is? You know who the two biggest champions against this word today?
Who?
Michelle and Barack.
Oh, well, I don't.
Big Mike.
I saw it coming. I saw it coming.
I played that clip for Darius in the car yesterday.
The reason, the reason why they would come out and say that is because, to be honest, bro, before Barack Obama even got into the White House,
Right.
I did not give a damn about race. It never crossed my mind. It's not something that I thought of. And, living in Patterson growing up, we had Albanians, we had Italians, we had
Right.
blacks, we had Spanish. It's a little
Yeah.
bit different now. Now it's a little bit more homogenous, black,
Yeah.
Spanish, and Arab. But no one ever looked at skin color, right? But the second Barack Obama came into office, first off, Obama would have never won if it wasn't for white people voting for him. A majority of the people that voted for him were white.
You vote. Listen. I was one of them.
I voted for him too.
But you know why I voted for him?
I believed in him.
No, I didn't. I didn't know. I was 18.
Yeah.
And I was in high school in East Brunswick. And I'm like, who do we vote for? They're like, there's a black man running for president. I was
Say
like,
what?
Bet.
I'm in
We
there.
have to. We have to, right?
I actually believed in him.
Because they made you feel like this was your way to repent for your whiteness of the sins of the ancestors that I didn't even fucking have.
Right.
Right? Because all my family came here in like the 60s.
They came
right?
on boats.
They came on boats. Like they didn't own slaves. They were slaves to communism and shit like that. But,
Right.
but it was like, you want to repent for all the bad things that our founding fathers did? You got to vote for the black guy. Stick
how-
it to the man.
That's how I painted it.
And
to
we
you?
were like, okay, dude, that's exactly how it was painted to me.
See, like I someone told me about Ron Paul back in 2008, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't honestly really care to look into Ron Paul until the 2012
Mm-hmm.
election. Barack Obama coming forward, just the way he speaks, and the way he talks, the way he carries himself,
Kinda smooth.
all these things just made me feel like, yeah, this guy definitely is going to be the next person. Yet, when he came into the White House, right, what was the thing that his wife said? Right, stop it. What was the thing that his wife said? The White House was built by slaves, and there was always a need to inject racism
Yeah.
in the past that this generation has never even experienced,
Yeah.
and it's constantly instilled this mindset of the blacks will never get ahead. They're not going to be able to get ahead.
Unless we give them a hand.
Right.
And but what that does, and not to jump in, but that creates weak people.
Absolutely.
Right? And like I was reading that, and again, like coming from, I guess, a white person like me saying that this isn't racist, they're gonna turn around and word it however they want. But like the truth is for all of y'all out there, right, that think that black and white and all this shit and there's inherent racism that won't let you succeed. Like there's two people in a room right here. I'm a white guy, you're a black man, right? I don't look at you that way, but how society would look at us. But here's the reality is we're both relatively the same age, right? You grew up in a different neighborhood than I did, right? And I guess as per like the standard, you had far less opportunities.
Technically, you had a worse upbringing than I did.
I did have a pretty shitty.
You had a way worse.
But no, but hear me
offense,
out.
but-
No, but you grew up in Patterson. But here's the
Right.
thing: you served our military, right? You made something of yourself.
Right.
You ran for Congress. You've got more following than me and Darius and Phil and all these other cats combined. We can't go a single place that people don't know fucking Billy Prempa. Now, if the society, what they're saying is correct, I should be where you are because I'm
Correct.
fucking white.
Correct, by default.
By default, the fact that Billy's one of the most successful young minds in New Jersey as a black man from the 4th Ward of Patterson. If that doesn't show equal opportunity and that it's about hard work and believing in yourself, I don't know what it does.
Absolutely.
Like, oh man, you got into Harvard. What's your GPA?
I
Nothing.
never went.
Oh, you play sports? No.
No.
Oh, how'd you get in? Oh, I'm black. Oh, I'm Native American. Oh, I'm Spanish. And again, and I'm about to go a little bit here because this is where I think America went downhill with this affirmative action, which, by the way, only needed to happen because of guys like Joe Biden in Congress that wrote the
Exactly.
94 crime bill, but y'all don't want to wake up.
Exactly.
But we live in a society that we need to give everybody something just because they exist and show them that they're special. Kids don't need to practice. They don't need to train. They don't need to work hard. They don't need to be better because just for showing up, Billy, you're the best. You
Thank
are the
you.
best. I just want you to know that I don't care what anybody says about you, Billy. You're the best. And you know what? Because you're black and you can't succeed in America, I'm going to give you a scholarship.
succeed
and,
in America.
And Juan out there, because he has a Spanish last name, we're going to give him a grant because
the
he
wildest.
can't start a business because he's Latin. But Dave, you're white and you got to make it because you already have a leg up on Juan and Billy because your skin tone. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking
Right.
about?
Damn,
Like,
son.
I grew up poor as fuck. Me and my mom recycled bottles to pay for pizza as a
That's
kid.
OD.
Bro, we literally didn't have heat. We used to sleep in the same bed when I was a kid under blankets to stay warm. Now, was there a special department that we could have went to and been like, hi, we need some electricity
We're
and
white.
food because we're white? No. And we never thought that way. Society has taught me and taught other people, because I don't think that way, but taught people to believe that just by looking at the two of us, that I would be more successful than you. And the reality is you're more successful than me because you fucking worked hard. I'm not saying I don't work hard, but America has given you opportunities to
100%.
succeed. So I'm totally glad that this is done. Let people
Yeah.
work.
And you know the thing that's funny about that, bro, is like I remembered having a conversation with there was a yo Juan. You remember that kid Jay Juan from Glen Rock?
Yeah, I remember. Yep.
Right. So I remember talking with this kid one time. Not him, but one of his friends, right? Another Asian friend that he had. And he was talking about how he was applying to, I don't remember what college it was at the time, but his application got rejected because it said his GPA was too high, which makes no sense, right? But in that same college, people are able to get in purely on affirmative action, whether they have the skills to make it in there or not. Just
Right.
because you're black, you can get in.
Right.
But someone who's busting their face doing calculus shit that I never want to do, that guy can't even get in.
Right.
We need to make that room for someone else purely because of skin color. And at that time, I was about 17 or 18. I was like, I didn't even know what affirmative action was up until that point. And I was like,
It's
that's kind of dumb to me. That doesn't make any sense. Like
Yeah.
like all that does is really hold anybody back. And I would even argue that for the people that aren't even prepared to get into those kinds of situations or even get into those schools, and they made it there purely because of skin color, I think you're just setting them up for even more failure.
failure. 100.
Exactly.
I agree with you 100%. It's like, you ever seen that meme where it's like when you lied on your application
Yeah.
and you show up for the first day?
Exactly.
So it's like, I'm going to take a guy who can't read at the level I need him to, or do mathematics or writing at any sort of level that I need him to do to be in this kind of school. We're going to put him through this program and we're going to push him, right? Strictly because of his race or nationality. And he's not going to succeed because he's not there. And then what happens? Now he's mentally beating himself up because he's not strong enough to make it through these courses. Now he gets pushed through because we need to, because again, these schools get these grants from the government for letting people like this into school. Right? Like we need to fill a quota, certain number of blacks, certain number of Indians, certain number of this. And we're going to push them through and show that they graduated. Now they get into the real world with a piece of paper that's virtually going to mean nothing because they don't actually have the skill set.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Think about it. It's like going in to play a professional sports and be like, well, what's your competitive? Like, well, I got a trophy every year I played. Like, what place did you come in?
What place?
What place? We all get the trophy.
We're all in the equal place.
Like, you're breeding lesser people and they want shit like that.
Exactly.
Right? I want to sit next, and Michelle Obama, and we'll move on from this, but Michelle Obama I read her quote where she said, she got into a school, I forget where school it was, but she went to a good school, and it was because of affirmative action, but she felt that when she was walking around, that the white people and the other people on the campus looked at her and that she was there strictly because of that.
I mean, but she was.
Exactly.
That's the
So
wildest
now
part.
when you look over and you see a person of color or a Spanish person or an Asian person, you now can look and go, that motherfucker worked.
Right.
Right? Not that
You're
they
not in
weren't
here
given-
because you're black. You're in here because you're smart as fuck.
Right, and that's how the world should be.
Absolutely.
Right? And it's not about making it all white, because I know a lot of dumb white people.
There's
A lot of dumb white
There's
people.
a lot of yeah.
A lot of dumb white people. But you should be there based on your merits. Of course, we don't want to exclude anybody or go back to like any sort of segregation of anything like that. But putting someone in a system strictly for their skin tone or religion or sexual identity now,
Meow.
it's ridiculous. Setting people up for failure, correct.
100%.
Moving on.
Oh, yeah. Because I didn't know this until you told me earlier today. I
Yeah,
didn't even
bro.
know the quality of the air was bad. I could have died, ladies and
Bro,
gentlemen.
it's bad.
I could have croaked and choked. What? So break this
Oh,
down.
so I walked down here and Kim was like, Dave, did you see the air quality? And I'm like, yeah, dude, like it's on the slides. So, bro, I got to break this down because it's so stupid when you actually break this shit down. So y'all remember 2 weeks ago when the sky was orange and there was flames everywhere apparently, and Canada was burning to the ground, and they told you about it, but yet there was no aerial coverage, no eye in the sky chopper, nothing, and the smoke came. But then what happened? 2 days later, the smoke was gone, and you didn't hear shit about the fires anymore. We were talking about the Titanic stuff. We were talking about what's going on over here. Trump had documents. We were talking about that, and you know what? Stuff doesn't work anymore because we found out the Titanic imploded the day that it went down, and nobody wanted to know about it. And Trump's probably going to get off the hooks. And it's like that scene in Austin Powers where it's like, fire the lasers! It's like back to the Canadian fire! Like, and now we're back, and there's smoke in the air again, and we're at horrible toxic levels. There's actually in New Jersey and New York a warning for emergencies for you to stay inside because the air quality is so bad because of these Canadian fires. Now go to the next slide.
Hang on, though, because no, go to the next slide.
Yeah.
But hang on for a second. So they're saying the air quality is bad. Nobody heard shit about this air
Because
quality
of the Canadian fires.
Right, but
Yes.
the day the sky was orange, right?
Yes.
Nobody heard shit until like the following day, or at least the average person
The
had no
average
clue.
person, yeah.
Now they're telling you the air quality is terrible. Like, do you believe the air quality actually is terrible? Because I'm like, it doesn't feel anywhere near as bad as it was that day.
No, but here's the thing is, so think about it, man. We had 4 days, right? That over 100 hours of nonstop coverage of a submarine full of billionaires. But yet there is a blaze. This is the map. Is this big screen, Juan?
Yeah,
This is the map.
Yeah,
And
we're good.
I just want to show this and then go back to us. But this is the map of Canada right now.
So explain what the dots are.
So the red dots are active fires that are out of control.
Get the fuck out of here,
That
bro.
means the entire
Get the
country
fuck
of
outta here,
Canada is
bro.
on fire.
That is cap right there.
Okay, so a fire that happened 2 weeks ago that apparently polluted the New York air that they never got under control, never showed us anything of, never had any articles about. The Canadian Prime Minister didn't make any sort of speech. Neither did the President. All the money we're sending to Ukraine, we don't got a couple helicopters full of water to send to Quebec?
Nonsense.
Crazy. But now, 2 weeks later, oh, by the way, guys, those fires never went out, and that's why the smoke is so bad. And look, here's a map that basically shows the entire fucking continent on fire. And guess what? When I went back to SnapMap, Billy, I spent an hour going to Ontario, going to Quebec, going over here, Saskatchewan, and clicking on people's photos. You know what people are doing in Canada right now?
Chilling.
Having picnics, going out on boats.
Good weather, eh?
Play it. There was a couple people like, anyone want to play Fortnite? I added this kid. I'm going to play with this Canadian kid later. But no fire. The skies are clear. Like, you don't think that if there was actually something this terrible going on, people would post it?
Wait a second. Wait a second. Because like now that I'm looking at this map,
Sheepery.
now that I'm looking at this map, something doesn't make sense, right? So the air quality is terrible in New Jersey, right?
Right.
Yet you see more blue dots than red dots over here where it says that it's under control, and then you see yellow where it says it's being held, right?
Yep.
So let's fast forward over here to Minnesota, where it's Minnesota. Why did I say it like that? Jesus Christ, now I'm from Minnesota. But in that area, you see all these red fires on top of Minnesota. You don't hear anything about the air quality in Minnesota.
No. The only place that has terrible air quality is the tri-state area.
Ain't that something?
The wind just happens to just blow it all directly.
This is bullshit if I ever seen it, man.
Bro,
this
think
is a
about it,
map.
bro. We had 24-hour news coverage of a fucking balloon from China. Remember that?
Well, I mean, that's
there was
something to be worried about.
You don't think an entire
true,
country
yeah.
on fire is something to worry
The
about?
whole world should be talking about
Bro,
this right
that's
now.
what I'm saying, and
Yeah, I
no
see,
one's
I see.
covering it.
I see what you're
You
saying.
get what I'm saying? I'm not saying the Chinese spy balloon wasn't something to
I
talk
get you,
about.
I get you.
But look at this map. Look at this map. There is the whole country, including apparently Alaska
This
Yeah.
map is a map about. There's a lot of Bloods. There's a lot of Crips.
and
a lot
Latin
of-
Latin
Kings.
Kings in there.
Rah,
yeah.
rah.
So they all fight.
There's gang wars in Canada,
Right.
bro. No, but y'all, seriously, you could call me Tinfoil Dave. I don't even care at this point.
That's not even tinfoil.
This
bro.
is
Like,
not
That's
tinfoil.
a question you really got to ask yourself. So
This is today. This
Yeah,
is
but-
that
today.
doesn't make
Doesn't
any
make
sense.
And this is from the Canadian
Right, that's-
government
That's what I was
interactive
looking at.
map.
I was trying to look at the website. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense.
And Trudeau has not come out once asking for assistance. Nobody. You're telling me nobody in the northern part of the United States? We haven't sent the National Guard. We haven't sent, the Mounties. There's not a single video of somebody fighting a fire. I looked it up. They show photo. There was 15 photos of fire and smoke. There's one photo and it's literally of trees on fire, and then underneath it says Quebec, June 12th. That's it. And then there's a picture of a guy walking through smoke, and that's it. Nobody fighting a fire. No news coverage. You know what I'm talking about? We had every media outlet to watch Trump get indicted in Miami, but there's a fucking entire country on fire, and I have no eyes in the sky.
Bro, America should have all hands on deck right now at this point.
It's-
Because if it's burning like that, there should be like a freaking potential immigration crisis
Not
coming
a
shortly.
real fire.
You have somebody on Rumble. They said ties right into Canada shutting down Canada's social media news.
Yeah.
They
Wait,
can
wait,
even
say again?
Oh, remember last week? I put it in my video. Last week, the Canadian government signed into law that news would not be distributed on Instagram or Facebook anymore.
Why?
That's the law. They signed a
out to
Canadian
Martha.
bill.
I mean, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but I don't understand why they would do that.
Because they're suppressing information. So think about it. If no one in Canada knows that everyone in America thinks Canada's on fire, drop the flex bomb right
I
now.
see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Okay.
It's obliviousness. Oh my God.
Well, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
But come on, dude. Come on, man.
I do have a bunch of friends also from Canada as well, and they haven't really mentioned anything about the situation either.
Bro, think about it, man. Anytime anything worth anything happens, right? Even in the littlest, people are recording it. People are posting it. It trends, right? When you type in Canadian wildfires on Google, the only thing you find is stories about New York and its air quality. There's nothing in Canada happening that they're telling you about.
I mean, in theory, bro, Canada, the sky should be red, bro. With how orange the skies
They
were
should,
here in
if
Jersey.
this map is real, they should be evacuating the country.
Oh, 100%. That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, if it was orange here in New Jersey, the sky should be red over there. It should be even prominent.
But the fact that New York apparently has a level red, which is completely toxic air quality today, right? If you look at right where we are now in Patterson, it's a red. It's not breathable air. Like, we should all be inside.
That sounds like a fear
But,
tactic.
but Canada, there's nothing. Like, literally, there's like you're standing next to the fire and it's just blowing over your head.
Oh, don't worry about it, E. We're down here. It's going over there to America.
You know what the problem? We have socialized medicine. We don't get sick.
We'll be fine, E.
We'll be okay.
We even euthanize our people. when they
Again, I'm
can't,
not.
get the healthcare.
I'm not.
They
at-
do. It's true. You know this, right?
Yeah.
In Canada, if you're sick and you can't get your health care in time because the so perfect government healthcare system that they want to try and push everywhere, socialist healthcare system. If you can't get that in time, the government will say, "Hey, well, you want to euthanize yourself and just die? I guess I'll die."
Assisted
then.
suicide.
Why not? Yeah, assisted suicide.
So
Evil.
again, wake up, ask the question. Think about it. This was a fire that we talked about. It was 30,000 miles of fire that we just
No,
they just
I thought it was 30,000 acres.
30,000 acres, right?
Right.
That they just stopped talking about for 2 weeks. It never got taken care of. But let me ask you something. If the same fires are still burning, right, from 2 weeks ago, why did the smoke stop?
Because it's a
Because of smoke.
because,
Mortal Kombat 1.
yeah.
But no, it's a legitimate, like, for the people out there that will say we're spreading whatever, ask yourself, if the fire was never stopped, why did the smoke?
Because Harry Potter.
He was like, Wingardium Leviosa.
No, that makes it lift.
Yeah, he lifted the smoke right over us.
I
We didn't see
see.
it. He sent it up to the firmament. That's another episode.
Oh man.
Moving on. Yo, Juan choking out there.
Yo, Juan, it's the smoke. Oh man,
The smoke.
bro.
What the fuck?
Oh
Go
man,
ahead,
so
go ahead,
so
Billy.
so I want to get Scott Lebedo on the show so bad. I actually just got his number not too long ago. I want
All
to reach out to him. Scott, we gotta have you on the show. Scott, you guys don't know Scott Lebedo. Go on Instagram, follow Scott Lebedo, absolute pure patriot. He's been losing his mind about this. You saw the video of
No,
of
I just saw you sent it. I didn't watch it.
So this this is what Scott did, right? He goes to the city hall, and well, let me.
Oh,
let
is that
me-
the guy throwing the pizza over the gate?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
that
Scott-
guy.
that's
yeah,
Scott
okay,
Levato.
okay, I
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
All right.
So the article reads, Mamma Mia, NYC rules crackdown on coal wood-fired pizzerias. Must cut carbon emissions up to 75%. Historic Big Apple pizza joints could be forced to dish out mounds of dough under a proposed city edict targeting pollutant-spewing coal and wood-fired ovens, the Post learned. So they're talking about... So let me get this straight. For as long as New York has existed, right,
Mm-hmm.
they've had factories, they've had all kinds of pollution, right?
Yep.
We're not going to curb that.
Nope.
The guys cooking pizza, we got to stop
Lock
that.
him up.
So every single forget about, and I was talking about this not long ago with somebody, and I was like, every single Italian should get pissed. But I'm like, no. It's not even just Italians at this point, bro.
Mhm.
New York, I mean, pizza is just about as New York as it gets.
It's
right?
the best.
You
in
go
New York.
anyway in the world,
Yep.
they're gonna be work. Well, maybe not Italy. Italy will be like, fuck you. we
There's a
make the
different type
original.
of pizza, but
Well,
it's
yes.
New York pizza I'd still take over.
Oh, absolutely. But it's like you go anywhere in the world,
Mm.
New York pizza's where it's at. And now they're now they're trying to tell you guys to crack down, bro. If 1,045,000 Italians don't march the streets and say fuck you, and a bunch of New Yorkers that like pizza don't come out and say fuck you, then New York, you deserve everything that you're getting right now.
No, but this goes deeper. Because I remember 6 or so episodes ago, we talked about New York wanting to ban gas stoves.
Right,
And
right.
we talked about it, and I had people come for me, and they were like, they're not trying to ban gas stoves. Like, you guys are crazy. And like, so, all right, okay, maybe I'm crazy. But here we are 6 weeks later, and now they're going to ban. So no more gas stoves. No more coal ovens. No more wood fire. Wood fire. Like, that is how our ancestors' used to warm and heat
Well,
themselves.
Generations, I should say.
Wood fire. Like, what happens when the electric goes out? What do you cook with?
Cook
A wood fire.
Right.
A coal fire. And now they want to get rid of this. And then CNN was like, hold on, guys. They're not trying to destroy pizza.
Yeah, they are.
They're just trying. No, so what they want them to do is basically install these, like, different systems that will filter better and use a different kind of whatever, coal and different heating element systems to crack down on the pollution. But they're like, but it's really not that serious because there's only 100 or so pizza places in Manhattan or in the city that use this. If there's only 100 pizza places that use this, why are you fucking even coming for them?
Word, it's not that deep. I mean, there's whole recycling plants and factories and
Yeah.
trash compacting areas in the city of New York that spew
Dude.
gallons, probably. I don't even know what's larger than gallons in terms of air.
Tons.
Cubic feet of freaking air. I don't know what
Yeah.
the fuck. But
It's a lot.
a lot of pollution comes
Yeah.
out of these damn factories, right?
Mhm.
They're not even touching it like they're touching the pizzerias right now.
And we were just in Manhattan last night.
Right.
And they were building that giant skyscraper across from Rockefeller Center.
Yeah, exactly.
And every single street corner had what? Bags of garbage. As tall as me and you. Disgusting. Cars and traffic and smog and all this bullshit. And like your number one attack is on the pizza. No, you want to know what it is? It's because you can attack them because they're the little guys, the mom and pop shops. You can go after them, and these guys are going to they're going to listen, they're going to bend the knee, or they're going to close up shop like a lot of business owners did during the pandemic, right? Think about it. If you got a wood fire, so most people, if you don't know this, coal fire ovens and wood fire ovens in the city are grandfathered in. We can't go to Manhattan and say, hey, we'd like to open a coal fire oven. It's kind of like those places that are grandfathered for smoking and things like that. Like,
Right.
you had to have been there. These places are close to 100 years old. Why are you fucking with them? If there's only 100 of them.
See, man, New York, I'm under the firm belief that New York City, all of it, right, while it's got great people, New York City's an open-air prison, man. And I can't
Yeah.
remember which comedian it was that said it, that it was like, it's a prison where they all govern themselves and keep themselves inside that city. We got this right here. I don't have to go far. I don't have to go all the way there. Everything what I need is right in this area. You blow the bridge, you close the tunnel, you can't get into New Jersey. You're stuck on that
I mean,
island.
have you never seen fucking Dark Knight? The Joker
They
did
did that, right?
Yeah, he blew up all the bridges from
right, that's
Gotham.
right. That's-
and they were
yeah.
stuck and they were freaking out.
That's it.
He was like, there's 27 bombs in the city. And people were like, ah.
Yeah, because you're screwed.
It's true.
You know,
You're right.
I think New York is actually no. Stay in New York. Because if I
Stay
say leave
No,
New
no, no,
York, they're gonna
stay
come
there.
here.
Stay there. I wish
Fight-
I had the
fight
video
in New
clip
York.
of
Fight
that
in New
lady.
York.
What she
Fight
said.
this.
You saw the video about the lady from what she said about the suburbs?
Which one? Oh yeah.
There's a senator, literally, they were talking about how the people in the suburbs don't want the redevelopment, which I did a video on, and she literally, this congresswoman, now pardon my language, because we're trying to clean it up here at Revive
She was
America.
was she a congressperson? She was
She's a senator.
She was a
senator.
state senator.
State senator stood up and
Wisconsin
literally,
state
Wisconsin state senator stood up on the floor and said, fuck the suburbs.
Hang on, I got the clip right here. So,
Yeah, you can show it to the camera.
yeah, I want to kind of play it in the
Restart
microphone.
Oh, actually, just let him hear it. Let him hear it.
Fuck the suburbs.
Ooh.
Because they don't know a goddamn thing about how life is in the city.
Wrong. That's it. That's all she says. You're wrong. The people in the suburbs know exactly what goes on in the city.
That's
they
why they
left.
left. That's why they
left.
left. Exactly.
They
Exactly.
moved to the suburbs. I'm from the city. I
Right.
live in the suburbs now because we don't want to live in the city.
Exactly.
We don't want to deal with the traffic, the bullshit, the pollution, the taxes, the garbage, the crime. You know how many fucked up people we saw out there in the city?
Yeah, it's quite the.
It's great
sad,
for
bro.
people watching, but don't say fuck the suburbs because we chose to get out. And now again, these people feel stuck, spinning on their hamster wheels, renting city bikes, eating non-coal-fire pizza,
Right.
while they get in their Tesla Ubers. Like, stay there.
There's soy food on every corner, though.
Fuck out of here. Stay there. Move it on. Shit makes me mad, bro. Oh, there you go.
Ooh.
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden unveils his 2024 sales pitch for Bidenomics. Is anyone buying? And the answer
That's from CNN too.
that's them, right?
CNN.
Is anyone buying? The short answer is no. Nobody's buying because almost nobody has the money to even purchase or even make large buying decisions like we did many, many years into America's history. The economy is completely fallen apart on many different aspects. Since Joe Biden has gotten into office, it's been blunder after blunder, whether it be cutting off the Keystone Pipeline, cutting off the leases to our oil drilling in the United States, which led to the increase in the cost of production, which has made it harder for anybody to even purchase anything. Avocados, food, lumber, building supplies, anything like that. So the advancement of our country has not grown in a way that it's supposed to be growing. Yet his idea for Bidenomics is supposedly investing in America, but his idea of investing in America is simply printing more money from the Federal Reserve Bank, injecting it back into the economy, and then once that money comes into the economy, they increase the taxes to try and offset the inflation, and now while that's going on, they take most of that money and they give it to the Ukraine so that they can fight and keep their country together because, Zelensky, he needs his money. He needs his money. Bidenomics has not been working for this country, and Joe Biden hasn't been here a very long time, yet he's got one of the lowest approval ratings in history for a president. Kamala Harris just hit the lowest.
Yes.
She just hit the lowest
Yep.
rating ever for a vice president in the United
And
States.
that's crazy considering she don't speak.
Bro, no one cares. Not that no one cares about the vice president, but the vice president is kind of like
You
the
should.
scapegoat in the back, right?
But you should care because
could,
they're
you
they're
should.
one heartbeat away from that seat. And with a guy like Joe Biden running the show, there's a very real possibility. With the way he trips and shit.
There's no possible way Joe Biden is going to win the nomination. There's no possible way Joe Biden is going to win for president in 2024.
0%.
Your vice president has the lowest approval rating ever. Our economy is the worst it's ever been in my lifetime. You are one of the most disliked presidents ever. You somehow got 81 million votes. Come 2024 versus Donald Trump or whoever the person may be, there's no possible way people will vote for this all over again. No. I know many, many Democrats that do not like what this guy's doing. They don't see our country going the way that he promised it to go. Build back better. You mean build back worse? Or I don't know. I couldn't think of anything creative, but build back worse because Bidenomics.
Build back bullshit.
Build back. You see? Build back bullshit.
That's what
See,
I do,
I like
man.
that,
That's what
man.
I do. That's what I do. That's what I do.
I missed it.
No, but I mean, this guy, he literally went out into Chicago, right? An impoverished city full of crime, full of drugs, full of fucking people wanting to get out, right? But fuck the suburbs.
I wonder why.
And literally was like, his platform for 2024 is he's going to run on his economic policies.
That is
That's so crazy.
He was better off saying that I'm going to run on my progressiveness and openness to gay people, black people, minorities, or whatever the fuck.
Bro, that's like
he was better off pandering.
That's like a pedophile applying for a babysitting job and then saying they're great with kids.
Great at destroying their
Like,
lives.
oh, yes and no. Like, I don't know if I'm going to hire you for the job. Like, Joe Biden's going to be like, I'm running on my economic policy. Great for Republicans. I don't know if I'm a Democrat. I feel really good about this, right? Again, like you said, just going to reiterate, worst economy we've seen in our lifetime. Highest gas prices, highest food prices, highest inflation prices, right? The housing market is through the roof. People can't leave if they want to. People are trying to escape these cities because of the crime, because of the poverty, the trash, the opioid addictions, a wide open border, right? These are the things that you're going to be able to go town to town and be like, who wants 4 more years, and think people are going to applaud you?
Bro. You know what that reminds
Please
me
run
of?
on that.
You know what that reminds me of, man? This reminds me of a conversation that I had with my mom maybe when I was like 22 and I came back from the military and stuff like that, right? Barack Obama was president. Everything was shutting down. All the businesses were closed. It was almost impossible for me to find a job for almost a year. My mom first brought it to my mind like, hey, Billy, you know, I got land in Africa and stuff like that. You should go back to Africa, build things up. I haven't been to Africa before. But she's like, you know, I got land out there. You know, you should build a house, get together, build your life up. The economy's lower. Bring the dollars here, over there, and try and start your life up. Right? And I was like, yeah, I want to do that, but I'm an American. I fought for America. This is my country. I'm not going anywhere. She's like, oh, I respect it. Just know that that's an option if you ever choose to do that. But I remember reading an article not too long ago that was talking about how Americans from all different races are, in our generation, within the millennial generation, Generation X generation, many of them are leaving the United States to go overseas because, one, it's cheaper to live in a different country while being paid in American dollars, whether you have a company in the United States or you're getting paid to work remotely or something like that. Many of these people are deciding to leave the United States and find greener pastures in other countries, which is wild to me because America used to be the land of economic opportunity, but now that economic opportunity is now not only being extracted and given to a bunch of countries that don't give a flying fuck about us, but it's being extracted from the people within their own country that are trying to give back and build this country. Right? And under Joe Biden, that's only exasperated even further.
No, I agree. I mean, dude, I've been talking about getting dual citizenship for a long time. Like,
it's actually a very smart economic plan.
People think I'm joking when I tell them, like, I want to live in Iceland, right?
That's not a stupid
Dude,
idea.
so Iceland has a population of 300,000 people.
Yeah.
Over 80% of them live in Reykjavik, which is one town. And it's not a huge place, but it's pretty big. They see over 30 million tourists a year. Right? That's a crazy number. Considering you only have 300,000 people and you see that many tourists a year, they're literally paying people to move there because they can't withstand the amount of people that show up. They need people to build. They need people to operate businesses. And they're offering people citizenship. They're offering people education. They're offering people housing assistance, jobs that pay, again, American dollars, like big money.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, for someone like me that doesn't have my family started yet, doesn't have like a commitment to a house, to a mortgage, and or anything like that, like the thought of, look, again, love America, got it fucking tattooed on me, like this is my home. But when people are like, oh, you're 32, like you're still at home, and it's like, dude, where else am I gonna go? My mom's a grown-ass woman and struggles with the fucking bills. Like, how am I supposed to do it on my own? Like,
right.
Even putting 2 incomes together is hard. We're seeing it happen. So our generation, while there's part of me that's like, how could you abandon ship? The part of it is the ship is being steered by a bunch of drunk people into the iceberg, just like the Titanic.
Right, and I don't want to crash this damn ship.
So, I don't blame anybody that wants to abandon ship. And again, I tell you right now, here's my bold prediction. If Biden somehow wins in 2024, I will seriously consider leaving. I'm not Rosie O'Donnell, bro. Like, I literally would fucking leave.
I'm leaving.
I'm going to Canada. That's how the forest fire started. Because Rosie's like, now I can't leave when Trump wins. Ridiculous. Moving on.
Oh, Rosie O'Donnell. Silly.
Oh! If you don't know, now you know. The White House National Security Council walks out after being questioned about the Hunter Biden WhatsApp messages implicating President Biden. Now, let's go to this because I want it for the concept of time. I want to read this. This was taken through a subpoena of Hunter Biden's phone via WhatsApp. Go ahead, Juan, to the next slide. I'm sitting here with my father, and we would like to understand why you have the commitment has not been fulfilled. Tell the director that I would like to resolve this now before it gets out of hand tonight. And Z, if I don't get a call or a text from you and anyone involved other than you, Zhang, or the chairman, I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me, my father, and every person he knows and my ability to forever hold a grudge with you, that you will regret not following my direction. I'm sitting here with my father waiting for your call. Now, this was taken off Hunter Biden's phone. He's actually, by the way, again, something they're not talking about today because we're all concerned about the smog in the air. Hunter Biden was actually had his day in court in Wilmington, Delaware for these subpoenas and everything that's going on here. And again, last week when we did that video that blew up and we were talking about what they were trying to distract you from by talking about this Titanic submersible, this is what was happening that day. Hunter Biden and his dad have been taking millions and millions and millions of dollars from foreign nationals. Up to right now, we know of 10 million at least confirmed that this has gone to him. And it's not news anywhere.
Right.
Why? There's been zero coverage of this text message, of these interactions, of these dealings. And then when you ask the question to the Mayorkases, when you ask the question to the secretary, they go, ask somebody else. They don't answer. But they'll sit up there and fucking jerk each other off talking about stuff that means nothing. But when you ask a real question, they got nothing to say to you.
And there's even more damning things inside that laptop. This is just scratching the surface on
Right.
top of this as well, too.
But
and if there's anything more damning, it's that.
But is this not enough almost?
Well, if your last name is Biden, no, it's not enough. It's not enough. If
If
you're
he-
Trump, you would have been under jail.
If that
by
was
now.
Donald Trump Jr.
He's under
saying,
jail.
I'm sitting here with my father waiting for this money, bro, they would be kicking in his door to Bedminster right now and
100%.
dragging him
and
out.
I'd say lock him up if he did.
But we live, and when people don't acknowledge that there's a two-tier justice system, there is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you're a Democrat, if you're connected to the right people, like this guy money laundered millions of dollars from other countries, and he got a slap on the wrist in PTI. Tell me how that makes fucking sense.
Well, it doesn't make any sense. And the part about that really upsets me, man, is that if this is what's happening right now, and under what? I'd say it's been 8 years now since 2016, where we've seen the Justice Department just get more and more and more
Corrupt.
ridiculous. My fear is, what's the Justice Department going to look like 10 years from now? Is there even going to be anything that we call justice that even resembles justice? Because at this point, it's basically do what we say or we'll destroy your life. We'll prevent the media from even talking about what we're doing to you. In fact, we'll have them tear you down even further to make you look like a bad guy, and you never have your day in court.
Yeah, and we'll also make sure that we have a whole bunch of soldiers out there, not actual soldiers, but people on the social media
Like
networks,
NPCs.
right? That make sure that if you do get this information out, they will spend day and night calling you a conspiracy theorist,
Crazy
saying
person.
you're misinformation, getting you taken down off because that video again had fucking 80 views. You think TikTok just happened to be on my page? Somebody reported it.
Oh, of course they did.
Of course they did. It had 80 views. It wasn't even a big video, right? But my 80,000 view one is still up there, where we said the same kind of shit.
It's only a matter of time before they shut that one down.
You know, so but again, I just want to talk on this and then we'll move on. The only hope for our justice system right now, and like this or not, is for a guy like Trump or possibly even a Kennedy to get in.
Or better yet, Trump and Kennedy get
Bro, I called that last week,
I know,
and
you
I was
did.
telling people at that event yesterday, and people's eyes were fucking going wide.
No, a couple of people said that yesterday, too.
Who do you think was telling them that? Because they were like, "Who's Trump? Trump's going to pick Carrie Lake," and I was like, "He might,"
I would love that.
which would be cool because then we took a photo with the VP,
Right.
which is cool.
Carrie Lake she's an
She's
amazing
dope,
woman, isn't
really
she?
cool.
She's so freaking cool.
Yeah, but I said bold prediction time.
Yeah.
Trump Kennedy, and they were like,
You know why that's also a really good thing, though, if Trump and Kennedy did decide to run on a ticket together? Because I believe the Democrat Party, they're not having a primary on their
"No,
debate
they're not
stage.
putting them on the stage."
RFK loses. If I were Donald Trump and I were smart for one, they agree on quite a bit.
Yeah.
Right? Even though RFK is still pretty lefty on a couple of things,
Right?
Trump being very conservative, I think it will not only bring a good balance to politics,
Right.
but I think it completely shatters the dichotomy of Democrat versus Republican,
And
left
you take
versus right.
every single one of the moderate
Correct.
Democrats and independent voters, and you're swinging them.
Oh, yeah.
Trump. That ticket. I'll tell you right now, that ticket breaks 100 million votes.
That ticket could beat Michelle Obama.
That ticket will do better than the Ronald
I
Reagan
think so.
electoral map. I think they win every state.
You think? Yeah, you know.
I think they win
think-
at all states.
I don't know, man.
I think they could.
The reason why they,
I think it could. I think it'll be the biggest victory by a presidential ticket ever. Bold prediction time. That's where I'm going.
I believe that could actually beat Michelle, bro. Only because it's what this hasn't happened since what, Lincoln or something like that. If a Democrat and a Republican working together like in the White House.
Yeah.
I think it might be overdue for something like
You
that
know-
because I think the whole party system is nonsensical at this
Absolutely.
point now.
I think we need to dissolve it to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But speaking of Abe Lincoln, when Abe Lincoln won, he hired everyone that ran against him. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, but I think
All
it's
of
actually
what-
pretty smart.
All of Abe Lincoln's cabinet members were people who opposed him and ran against him, and everybody was like, Mr. Lincoln, President Lincoln, why would you do that? And you know what his response was? He goes, why would I surround myself in a room full of yes men when I
Right.
want people that are going to challenge me and make me think about my decisions? Because I know they're going to disagree with me.
Right.
And if I have if I'm in a room and I go, I want to do this, and I have 50 people that go, yeah, great job, Mr.
Dictator.
Lincoln, or you have a guy that's like, no, dude, that's a stupid idea, and he goes, well, tell me why.
Right.
And now you can have that. I think that's a huge win.
That's actually very smart.
I
didn't know
like that idea. It shatters, like you said, it softens Trump up. And again, the Kennedy and Trump family go back.
Yeah.
They're New York Democrats, man. People forget Trump, the
Trump was a
MAGA
Democrat.
Republican. He was the biggest Democrat donor for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
They all loved him. And like you said, to beat Michelle, right? It's kind of like that movie where like two people that aren't really friends, they got to team up, like because the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Like Goku and Vegeta and like
right?
Dragon
They're
Ball
not
Z.
cool, but you got to take him down, bro.
Right.
Piccolo got the Dragon Balls.
Right.
Like somebody.
One of us has to beat this guy.
Right. I think that's a winning number.
Ah.
Bold prediction. You heard it here first.
That's why you should follow Revive America
Oh,
if you haven't done
that's-
so
go
yet.
ahead.
Ooh, so I wanted to talk about this story for quite some time. We didn't get a chance to talk about this last week, but for those people that are watching online, the former Democrat transgender state representative with shocking criminal past arrested on child pornography charges, Stacey Marie Lawton, as they call himself, that's clearly a Robert, resigned following the 2022 midterm after an arrest for stalking a woman. Former Democrat New Hampshire state representative who identifies as transgender was arrested Thursday for allegedly distributing sexually explicit images of children. First off, man, I've been saying this for God knows how long on this show, right? I don't trust this trans agenda at all.
No.
I don't support it. There's no reason to support it. All you're doing is you're supporting delusion at this point, right?
I agree.
You're supporting delusion at this point. Now, someone who is supposed to be writing legislation for our for their state, I should say, right, or even at a federal level, right? Anyone that's doing these kinds of things, you shouldn't be a degenerate person,
No.
right? More importantly, how the fuck did this guy get elected?
It because affirmative action, bro.
Oh,
That is the definition.
oh, you cut it off? You're hired.
Think about it, man. The guy, remember the Titanic sub guy said he wasn't hiring people with experience. He was hiring young people that had enthusiasm and social media
affirmative
presence.
action. Yeah, I see what you're
So
saying.
you know what I'm saying? It's really not about best man for the job. It's who am I going to look the best to
Right.
on the Better Business Bureau rating? Because I hire minorities and I hire trans people and I hire this. I hire kitty cats, right? Like,
See, the thing that disgusts me about this is if this guy was just supposedly, because he wasn't just downloading this and being a creep.
no,
This guy was distributing.
distributing it
So now the next question is, not only are you
to
distributing
who?
Yes,
Ah.
exactly. It's to who?
Yeah.
Are there other people in the
Of course
state
there
house
are.
that you're doing that to?
Pizzagate, dog.
And even worse, if you're distributing it, are you creating this content yourself
Yeah,
and then distributing it? And how long has this been going on? And you're writing legislation for our country?
yeah.
I mean, for our
Dude,
for
and
the
you know,
state?
the screwed up thing is, I wanted to talk about this one, but actually today there was a senator from Illinois, I believe, or another state. I have to find it for next time, but he just got arrested for distributing child porn too.
What?
Yeah, there's another article, and then there's another article I shared today on
me look that
Instagram.
up.
There was a Disney employee, right? Disney employee that got arrested for. Listen to
You
this
said
one.
this was in Michigan?
Yeah, when I typed in, I had it. Hold on. Yeah, it was somebody else. It was like from a day ago.
I don't see anything about it. Maybe. Well, but then again, it's also Google.
Yeah.
Paging Dr. Juan.
Is this guy from New Hampshire?
This guy, yeah. He's New
Yeah.
Hampshire.
Okay. Yeah, there was that was a while ago. But
Anyway.
yeah, there was a guy who works for Disney who just got arrested for having a child porn ring where he was making the content.
A ring?
He had a ring with other Disney employees. There's 8 of them that got arrested in a sting operation. This guy had pictures of kids that were as old as a few weeks with their hands tied behind their backs.
What the
Bro.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Bro.
Crazy ass image.
Bro,
right now.
so I'm gonna go out on a limb here, bro. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. If I was Trump or any person running for president right now, I would not only make it a crime.
Disney World
Here we
employee
go.
Paul Vail facing 540 counts after being among 8 arrested in horrific child sex abuse material bust. There were photos of tied-up babies prepped for sexual battery. One photo had week-old babies with their hands tied behind their back.
Oh hell, bro!
Bro.
Whoever the next president
What?
is,
Bro. Bro.
you want my vote, bro? I would not only make pedophilia a federal crime, I would make it punishable by death, bro.
Public death.
Public death.
Bring
bro.
that shit back. Everybody
I would
else
say
did
public death, and the reason why people, but that's vulgar. The government, like Tim Pool said something on his show one time that I disagreed with. Right?
Mhm.
He was like, he doesn't believe in capital punishment. Government should not have that much power to kill you. Right? while I agree with that, the government also should not have the power to take money from my pocket to keep a scumbag alive, especially when they did something worthy of death.
Yeah.
Right? I'm very biblical, right? Eye for an eye. You tainted a child's life, we take your life.
But think about this. You just said, like, the government shouldn't have that much power over your life. What kind of power do you have over a child?
Exactly.
What kind of power do you have over a defenseless
Right.
child? 3 weeks old?
Right.
You tying up babies and beating them?
It's like, dude,
Dude, that's fucking sick.
if a little guy was getting bullied and he's getting beat up all the time, right?
I'm that dad that shows up at the school.
Exactly,
Tell him
right?
You don't want to touch my kid, bro.
By that logic, you're wrong
Yeah.
for beating that guy up, for messing with your kid or messing with your
I'm not
friend
gonna
or
touch the
whatever.
kid. I'm gonna go to his house and me and his dad are gonna talk.
Yeah, man, let's go in the driveway real
Be
quick.
like, I ain't gonna hit this kid, but your dad,
I'm uppercut
because
him.
you didn't raise him right. You know
Right?
what
So
I
I'm
mean?
gonna teach you how to
Bro, this may be why I don't want to have kids. I'm gonna get in trouble.
listen, man. You'll be a good dad though.
Yeah, I know,
You'll be a
but
good
don't fucking touch my kid.
That's what every dad's
Oh
supposed to do.
my God.
That's what every mom's supposed to do. That's what
Yeah.
every parent's supposed to do. You're supposed to want to protect your kids.
Yeah. Moving on. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take it this time. If you guys have not already gone and checked out the amazing shop at the Revive-USA.com shop, you need to go and check us out. Go ahead and move on to the next slide. We've got some awesome, there's all of our links, all of our information you can find. We've got merch, hats, hoodies, tank tops coming.
We've also got some new designs coming soon, and
Yeah.
I actually redesigned the website after
Did
I
you?
brought it up. Yeah, so it's not done yet. But
after it was hacked.
after it was hacked, because you know what I just ended up doing, bro? I just ended up deleting because the website doesn't look the way that it did before.
But it
So I
looks
just-
better?
It's going to look
All
better.
right,
It's going
okay.
to look better because I'm still working on it right now. I deleted the entire website and started it all over again because what these guys did
Right.
was not only did they hack into the website, they got into the code and put all kinds of gibberish inside the code to break the whole damn thing, right? And it's like either
So we're back, though.
it says like under construction right now, but the website will be.
It's
up
like
shortly.
Bidenomics ready.
It's Bidenomics.
It'll
ready.
work, but
No, dude,
and we
trust
got
me.
brand new party merch. And also, if you guys are obviously, we shout out to the people that are watching us right now, but follow us on Rumble at rumble.com/user/ReviveUSAmerica. Check us out. We've been growing and growing and growing, and we appreciate all of you guys. Seriously.
Kim says I'm a drop kick the kid.
What kid?
Let's talk about the previous story. Like if
You gonna
somebody's-
dropkick my kid?
No, say like somebody's because she got a kid. Somebody's
Oh.
bullying her kid. You just
Oh,
drop it.
Kim just run up like water boy. got the water boy jug.
Premium H2O.
Mama said alligators are ornery because they have all them teeth and no toothbrush.
Oh, poor things.
You're wrong, Colonel Sanders. All right, moving on. I love that. It's one of my favorite. We're going to rapid fire a couple of these because we got a couple more stories and for the concept of time. But states are now considering charging drivers by mile to maintain national roads.
This is something they were talking about wanting to do for
Right.
at least 10 years
So there's
ago.
3 states, Oregon, Utah, and Virginia, are generating revenue from road usage charges. Now, first of all, I think it's ridiculous the amount of money we pay in tolls. And I'm going to
Absolutely.
publicly say this. Screw you, Easy Pass.
Yeah,
it's the
screw them.
biggest scam.
It is a
I
scam.
literally, before I left, my mom was like, you use all the Easy Pass. So I put $50 on the Easy Pass, right, to make sure we had money. I went through the Easy Pass today, and it was like, call service center. So now I'm getting another violation notice sent to my house, which I'm not going to pay.
Yeah.
Dude, we
Screw
owe
them.
like fucking $3,000 to Easy Pass
Bro, I
because
pro-
every
I
time you
probably know
go
about that
through,
much.
they hit you with this stupid shit. It's
And then
ridiculous.
they surcharge $50 on top of it for like
Yeah.
$1 toll or something.
Bro,
It's a scam,
It's
dog.
ridiculous. There was a guy who I think it was like $200 worth of tolls, and he had $25,000 worth of fines.
That's
Like
ridiculous.
surcharges.
That's
yeah.
ridiculous. I'm not
No,
paying that.
No, I'm not. Easy Pass, you're screwed.
Yeah,
You're
take
not
me to
getting
court
any
at
of that
this
money.
point. I'm not paying that.
So this is something they want to do, which I think is ridiculous because, again, I think this starts to put everybody into this box, right?
Right.
This Klaus Schwab, you will own nothing and like it.
and you'll be happy.
Why do you want to drive when you're paying 25 cents a mile? Stay in your city, your 15-minute city. You have your gym upstairs, your Starbucks. You can go to your friend's house. You don't never need to leave.
You can ride the city bike.
It's the most beautiful prison with glass windows and views of nothingness.
Look at your reflection.
This is what they want. They want you to literally own nothing. Why would you drive? Gas is through the roof because we're not drilling,
No.
right? You're going to pay 25 cents probably, like let's just say I don't know if that's the number, but 25 cents plus a mile for driving to maintain the roads. How much money does New Jersey pay in taxes? And our roads are like driving on fucking cobblestone
Oh,
in
man.
Colonial Williamsburg.
Oh, man.
They did a patch job by my house, Evergreen Boulevard. It was supposed to get fixed. Bro, it's literally like driving on the fucking Baja.
Cars
You're
like this?
And like I'm a big dude, so these things I need a sports bra to drive on my roads, bro. I'm just sitting there, knock myself out with these man tits, like,
Oh, man.
dude. But you want me to maintain the roads by giving you money?
It makes no damn sense.
Fuck
bro.
outta here.
It makes no damn sense.
It'll never pass.
Sorry about that. I think you know what? I honestly think it probably will pass. I think and you know why I think it will pass? I'll even do something even further, right? Seeing how the United States dollar has been propped up by the petrodollar system, right?
Yeah.
And OPEC. Excuse me. Now that whole entire dynamic is changing, and many of the countries are starting to jump onto the BRICS nation,
Yeah.
many of the countries are going to continue to buy and sell and do all these things with the BRICS currencies as opposed to using the United States dollar. So as more people start to dump, and we've cut off all of our oil reserves, Joe Biden's cutting off pipeline projects.
Yeah.
We're not pumping like we need to.
Yeah.
The rest of the world is not trying to sell to us because we're not a part of their BRICS union, right? And it's going to end up happening eventually.
I know.
Yet they're pushing everybody to start riding the electric cars. Get in the electric car. And then we're also going to tax you on that electric car because we're burning coal to actually run that thing. So now you have to cut down on the carbon emissions.
Right. It's crazy. You ever had that conversation with somebody about like electricity, cars are
Oh,
cleaner,
yeah.
and then you're like, you know where it comes from?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So we could just harvest coal, or we could harvest copper and lithium and cobalt, and we can still use the same children migrant workers in poor
Right,
countries.
which I think is even worse.
It's the same shit. Instead of getting it done in American by like union workers, we're going to have children slaves do it in fucking India.
Right.
And it's better, right? Because you feel better about the environment.
And then the worst part is once those batteries have completely spent their life, they go in the landfills and sit there and
they don't
absolutely nothing.
biodegrade.
The same with these fucking wind turbines,
Yeah.
bro.
No,
None of this,
but
this
people
whole
don't know
thing's a scam.
those lithium batteries don't break down.
No, they don't.
And they're extremely toxic.
Exactly.
And they only have a 100,000-year lifespan.
That's
so my F-150 will get you 100,000 miles. I'm going to need to go through two, and those batteries cost about $25,000.
You know what's so funny about you even mention that about like your F-150 can go on forever? The other day while I was at work, right, I pull into a quick check and there's this old Russian guy, right?
Yeah.
He was in this what was the Jeep that O.J. Simpson was running?
The
from the cops?
Ford Bronco.
The Bronco, right?
Yeah.
So this guy had a Bronco, right? And he was so proud of it because he had like American flags and all this stuff
All
on
right.
it, right? And on the side of the car, right, and all the windows, he had it written, "This car hit 1.2 million miles and still going."
Really?
And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So like I pulled the guy over and he's like, oh, I love it. He's like, I love America. I could never do this in Russia. Like I would never be able to do this, right? And I'm like, I don't believe you. I want to see the dashboard, right? So he was like, okay, I'll show you. So the dashboard said 999, right? And then I said, okay, well then where's the rest? And he's like, well, I'm keeping track of the trip mileage that I'm doing, right? So then he has the trip mileage on top of that, which showed an additional 300 and something thousand on top of that.
Damn.
And I was like, that is freaking insane, bro. It's like,
Yep.
yo, so long as you take care of the car,
Oil
take care of it,
changes.
it'll go forever, bro.
But that's also, and it was an older Bronco, right?
Yeah, it was
So
like a 96
That's the
or
thing
something.
is cars back in the day, right? The 50s, 60s, and 70s, those cars were built to last, right? They were meant for you to be able to use. That's why people have classic cars.
Right.
That's why there's still 67 Mustangs and Chevelles and pickup trucks that are out there because they were built to last. They had steel frames, so if you hit something, then nothing happened to your car. Now your car is made with cheap plastic and fiberglass.
They charge
All
50
your
grand
parts
for
are
it.
made with aluminum, right? Yes, it's better for the environment. It's cheaper to make, but they snap. They break. Your batteries, your motors, you have these aluminum piston heads instead of cast iron rods.
Right.
They break. Everything is made shittily. Why? Because every 5 years they want you to buy another $50,000 car.
Bro, my favorite car of all time. Juan, do you remember that freaking really shitty blue 1984 Toyota Corolla that I had with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
busted rear window?
Bro, I guarantee you that
yeah.
thing's a beast.
What? Bro, you have no idea how many
Uh-huh.
times I crashed that car,
Yeah.
bro. Like, I mean, it finally died with someone T-boned. They rest in peace to the vehicle. I loved you.
Yeah.
But the thing had a carburetor and
Uh-huh.
everything. I spent like $15 in gas like every 2 weeks to fill the damn
Yeah.
thing, bro. My favorite car. I've driven
Yeah.
many cars. That's my favorite car
Bro,
ever,
my first car was my favorite car. I had a 92 Isuzu Amigo, right? And what
I didn't
people,
even know what that looks like.
dude, it looks like the Jurassic Park Jeep.
Oh,
It's like,
okay,
so
okay,
what
okay.
people don't know is that in World War I, Isuzu made all the tanks and the Jeeps for the Army before Jeep was a thing.
Huh.
So Isuzu was the original. Dude, these motors, there was literally a guy who showed a video. He ran this car for like 10,000 miles with no fucking oil in it, and it was fine. These things
Wow.
were literally built like tanks. You couldn't destroy them. I had that car forever. My mom wanted me to have airbags. I sold it to some jerk off, and he crashed it in like a week. T-boned it. And I was like, and I sold it to him for like $500. I was so mad
You
about
might as
it.
well have kept it.
And now my goal is to find one. So if anybody watching the Revive knows anybody with a 92 Isuzu Amigo, holler at me. I will buy it
92 Isuzu
cash.
Amigo.
Bro, that thing was a beast. I'll pull it. I gotta pull it
Yeah,
up.
I gotta see
No,
it.
dude,
I've
not-
never even heard of this
Dude,
damn vehicle before.
dude, this was my favorite car. Me and my boys, we would go out and we would fucking. We
It had
would
the drop top and everything?
It was red and it had the lights on the top. That's what it looked like.
Oh, I'd rock this.
Dude, right?
I'd
Here,
rock
get
show
on
to
that
the camera.
camera.
I'd rock that.
Oh, that's a dope.
That
ass
actually
car.
looks
And
pretty
it
fire.
had the headlights up top. I had a brush guard with the lights, and the top and the back comes off.
Yeah, that's sick, bro.
And that back seat was like a lazy boy couch. It was the coolest car, 4-wheel
like
drive.
It would recline the back seat.
No, it was sit like this. So and bro, like I was a big dude. You'd have like I could be all the way back driving, and there was this much room. Like it didn't look big. It was a little 4-cylinder. It was a 5-speed 4-wheel drive
Manual.
Dude, it was a beast. I love that car. It was the greatest car, man.
Whoever's got a Isuzu
I tried to
Amigo,
find. You can't find it, man. It's hard, but I'm gonna find one. But no, but I'm saying is they built those things. Like I beat the shit out of that from 17 years old to like 22. Beat it, drove it through the dirt, crashed it into trees in the woods, like, and that thing ran like a dream. And all I ever did was change the oil and do the brakes and tires. Beautiful. But now, what? You got these little cars, these little fucking everything is electronic, and you know why they do that?
that circuit broke. Now you got to spend $900 on this little tiny
Listen,
chip.
man, I love my BMWs, right? But I had a 2008 3 Series, and one little wire broke it. Everything was
dude.
done.
Yep.
There's no more, just let me check the panel. Like, no, dude, you're screwed. You need a whole new wiring harness. Oh, by the way, that's $2,500.
Right.
Plus 6 hours of labor because we have to take the whole dashboard
And
off.
you got to take it directly to
To BMW.
Mercedes or whatever.
Yeah.
it was. Yeah.
And that's what they do, right? I didn't even notice. I have a 97 BMW, right? I drive it. Love that thing. Do the oil on it, no problem, because it's full synthetic. They want to charge you all this money. The 2008, you know what they did on the bottom of it?
What?
They put an entire plastic guard on the bottom
So you can't take it
with
off,
specialty bolts
Yeah,
that
I heard
only
about that.
BMW could
I heard
open
about
because they
that.
don't want you to change your oil because they want to bang you for $150 to do an oil change. Whereas the Isuzu Amigo, you could literally open the hood, reach down, unscrew the filter, it would pour out, and then you put the oil on the top. It was
ultimate convenience, bro.
they don't want that.
Ultimate
that's how it is
convenience.
with
Consumers,
Corolla.
man, we're consumers now.
The Corolla, the same exact thing. My father would never.
You ever
do
watch?
that.
Yeah.
My mom sends me all these videos of like society, like in the early 1900s, the late 1800s. We had technology that far surpassed what we should have now as far as transportations. You ever see the hanging trains they had in Germany?
I have seen those. Yeah.
Crazy.
I have seen those.
Dude, they used to do the World's Fair and build these cities in months.
Bro, that's you know what's funny about you saying that, dude? Is I remembered asking, I can't remember who it was, but I asked somebody in Washington D.C. and I'm like, I'm in awe at some of these buildings. Like, how
Yeah.
the hell were they able to build this? And someone was like, well, you know, a lot of the guys that built these buildings, most of them were stonemasons from back in the day, and the education and knowledge to actually build these kinds of things, no one's really teaching that kind of stuff anymore. So that information was lost. And I'm like, how the fuck do you just lose that kind of information, or you lose?
It was
that
lost on
ability to do
purpose.
that? Of course.
Yeah.
Right, and when I saw the World's Fair, like you're talking about it, I'm like, how did you build this in such a short period of time, so elegantly, so intricately?
They would build these gigantic cities in a matter of minutes, basically, in
Yeah.
comparison to what we do now. And they were huge architectural phenomenons. And we can't do that. I mean, dude, there was cars, right? In the 1940s, this guy created a carburetor in the 40s and 50s that would get 70 miles to the gallon.
I heard about that.
Gas companies came, bought it up, and he died. Whoops.
he just
You know,
disappeared somehow.
He killed himself, right?
just
He
died
unalived
suddenly.
himself.
He died suddenly.
Dude, there was literally a guy who created a car that runs on water.
Oh, that
a
guy
motor.
totally dead.
No, I just saw a video. This just happened like a few months ago. It's a combustible motor.
Everybody that I've seen that's tried to run a car on water, they mysteriously just
Right, but you
off
could do
themselves
it.
or die. I know.
You could.
I know. I've seen it a couple of times.
Or the people that use the old fry oils. There's those cars.
That was there's a word for it. I know what you're talking about.
I know they basically put it in the back and they take old
Yeah.
fry oil from restaurants and their car runs on
Yeah,
it.
I think it's called like BHO or something.
Yeah.
Like that. I remember researching
But
that back.
you know,
in the day.
again,
'Cause
if-
I tried to do that to the Corolla actually, trying to figure out how to do it because I believe you had to have a carburetor in order for that type of technology to work. A
Again,
diesel
man,
engine.
They
carb on it.
don't want us to have the technology. They want us to be reliant, right? They want you to be a consumer, right? Because now you're on a time schedule, right? You are literally stuck in a system, right? So it's like buy a car, make my payment every third of the month for the next 60 months, and then I turn it in and I get a new one. And then for the next 60 months, I make my payment.
And
And
then
then
you
I
get
have a
another
mortgage for 30 years, and I go to work from 9 to 5, and I clock in, and I send my kids to school, and then they come home, and then we do this. And you're literally programmed to think you have freedom and that you're doing all of this stuff on your own, but you are so programmed to information, right? Think about where we live. We live in a world that tells me I have to believe that Lizzo is beautiful. I have to believe that Caitlyn Jenner is a woman. I have to believe that participation trophies are fucking inclusive. I have to believe that affirmative action is not racist. I have to believe that 2A fucking laws are not infringements. I have to believe that the media can have special freedom of speech rules and we can't, right? And we have to believe that we needed boosters to stay alive and we needed to shut down our businesses and we need to. And there's so many fucking people out there that are like,
It's like Brave New World, man.
but when you red pill and you exit the matrix, because we're living in the fucking matrix, whether you believe it or not, and that's not like I don't know if we're plugged in or something, but like we're literally living in a program designed by people way more powerful and rich than we are. And one by one, people are exiting this matrix and realizing and looking around. And when you start to realize like how fucking crazy it is, and it's like you see these people and you're like, yo, do you see this? And they're like, I see nothing. Everything
That's
is
the
great.
way it's supposed to be.
Everything is
That
the gov-
homeless guy on the street you just
the
stepped over.
government. You ever
supposed
watch
to be
the
there.
guys that did Shaun of the Dead?
Yeah.
You ever see that movie, The World's End?
Yeah,
I watched that the other
I've
day.
seen that. That was
right?
an epic film. I
where
liked it.
where basically they were like, it was like a higher life form came in and realized that people couldn't be trusted to do things on their own. So if they couldn't get them to comply, they would basically blank them out and turn them into these robots that would, contribute to society and clean up and not pollute and do the right thing
Right.
and no crime. And the people were like, we're humans and we should be able to make our own choices. But when you feel like, again, you give people this illusion of choice, but they don't have it, right? Like, do you want to use Crest, Colgate, or Arm & Hammer? And then you realize the same fucking company owns all three.
And they all have fluoride.
Do you want to buy Nike, Puma, or Reebok? They're all owned by the same people. You know what I mean? So you think you have fucking choices
There's
and
no
you
choice.
don't. You don't. Like, you're brainwashed to think you have freedom, but you don't. When you actually wake up and smell what fucking freedom is, you become people like us, and then you're called crazy.
Yeah. That's the wildest bit to me, bro.
If you could go back to sleep, would you? Like, if you could forget all that you know and just go back to, like, living a normal life and not being, like, on this crusade to wake people up, would you?
To be completely honest, bro, that actually reminds me of a story. When I came back from the military, right? And I remember having a conversation. Like, I really, like went through it, like, mentally. And I didn't see anything crazy, don't get me wrong. But it's
Right.
like, it's kind of like, you have this idea of the world for such a long time. And when I was in the military, you had no choice but to open your eyes to the world of what was really happening, right? And at that time, that's when Operation Odyssey Dawn was going on. We were invading Libya. We were dropping bombs. The drone bombing was expanding under Barack Obama. And I was supportive of this guy. He's going to be the hope and change and everything that we need. And all these fucking people are dying. And I came back home, right? And before I left the military, I had thousands of friends, bro. Many, many people, right? And when I would talk with these people about the reality of what's going on in the war, the reality of Barack Obama, the reality of the fractional reserve banking system, and all these things that have kept us the way we are, right? You're fucking crazy, Billy.
Yep.
Don't talk to Billy. Don't roll with Billy. Billy's talking about all this crazy
Billy's
type
nuts.
stuff right now. Billy's nuts,
He's
right?
a conspiracy
And that
theorist.
legitimately made me nuts.
Yeah.
That legitimately made me nuts. And I remember one time crying while trying to explain to my mom, like, mom, like what you came to America for, like, it's not going to exist by the time I'm your age. And she just could not wrap her head around that, right? I remember crying to her and thinking, like, Mom, sometimes, well, she said this, she was like, when you were younger, you used to read all these things on the internet and research this and read all these books and dig into all these kinds of things. And it was like, all these things are getting to your head. And I was like, and you know what, Mom, to be completely honest, I wish I was fucking stupid. And I wish I didn't know any of the things that I know, right? Even to this day.
Yeah.
Like, to answer that question, bro, I wish I didn't know any of the shit. I wish I could be willingly ignorant, believe
Blissfully
everything
ignorant.
that's being told to me by
Yeah.
the television and by the system. I wish I didn't have the capacity
Yeah.
to think deeply, because I wouldn't be stressed out. I'm stressed out as fuck right now.
Yeah.
You think if I could just be like some celebrity type guy and be viral as hell and make millions of dollars and just talk about the show stuff that the world wants to talk
Right.
about,
Be like a Mr. Beast.
be great.
And just like,
Right.
handing out. Yeah.
right? Instead, I'm over here talking about the real stuff that matters in the world right now, the stuff that people should be paying attention to, getting involved in. Old people run for fucking Congress.
Not 30-year-old dudes.
No, dude.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I
But I'm
know.
like, but if I don't run, there is no future.
But you gotta admit, it's fucking cool, man. To be like, we went
is.
to that event. We were like, me, you, and Darius were like the youngest people in that room.
it is.
It's cool.
It is pretty cool. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it's like, I kind of wish I didn't know all these things, man.
Yeah.
It's like, you remember in the Matrix, the guy, can't remember what the hell his name was, man.
The agent,
No, was it Link? What's his name?
the guy
no,
that's on the computer.
No, not Link then.
Morpheus?
The bald guy. Not
Morpheus.
Morpheus. He was in the first one. It was the bald guy who he went into the Matrix and he made the deal with Agent Smith, and he said, like, to wipe his memory and keep him inside the Matrix because he doesn't want to be real anymore, right? He wants to actually exist in the Matrix. He's like, I know this steak is fake, but it tastes real to me. And he was the one that was kind of trying to poison the minds of the people inside of Nebuchadnezzar, saying that it's like, why did Morpheus wake us up to this truth? Like, this isn't a truth. This isn't like
It's a
life-
hardship, dude.
Right. It's like
Yeah.
I'd rather be locked up in there
Yeah.
like a sheep, like everybody else.
Dude, it's true. It's true. Like, again, bro, I have this tattoo on my chest that says teach peace because I believed that things like that were fucking obtainable. And now I look at it and I go, bro, it's crazy how much I've woken up. It's crazy. Like, and I'm not saying I'm advocating for the opposite of peace, but it's like the mentality of like when I was asleep, right? When I just listened to my music and I ate my fast food and I didn't work out and I bought everything that I heard on the fucking television and I was just a consumer sheep that ran on my hamster wheel and had my salt lick in the room. Like, life was fucking simple.
Yeah.
But now it's almost horrifying to look at people who live the way that we used to.
Right.
And
I
understand.
I could never associate.
Like,
with
there's
those
some
people.
people-
I just can't.
I think when some people shut you down, it's almost like I know it's out there, right? I know. I don't want to though, because then they see what we go through.
That reminds me. I got to tell you this story, man.
They got think how many people, bro, like cops and fucking first responders and nurses that during the pandemic when people like you and me were fighting for them, right? I fought to keep my police officers in my town unvaccinated. Right? How many of them would come up to me and they were like, "Good job, Dave." They dapped me up. And I'm like, "Yo, go stand up for yourself." And they're like, "No, I can't. Like I'm peeking. I see what's happening, but like, no. I don't want that. I don't want that sauce. Look what they're doing to you. I don't want that for me. You're the crazy one that's already out there. Like, again, it's that Braveheart scene, bro.
Dude, one of the most eye-opening things that ever happened to me, right, is when I was 16, my father died. Right, I didn't know what it was like to be a man or to even understand the concepts of manhood at this point.
Yeah.
Not because my father didn't teach me to be a man, but during that critical moment of 16 and 18 that we were actually about to become a man, I lost my father. Right, I didn't know any of these things of what to do or where to go.
Right.
I was so lost. I was hanging with the wrong types of people and stuff. And one of my cousins came to me, who I don't talk to anymore. Fuck that guy. But this guy came to me and was like, "Yo, you should join the military, right?" Initially, I was trying to join the Marine Corps at that time. At that time, I was like, well, I guess what makes me strong is to fight, is to be a man. They go fight for the country, right? And I do love this country. I do want to fight back. I was like, no, you should go and join the Air Force, right? You should join the Air Force. We got Barack Obama, first black president. You're going to go over there. It should be the best thing that you ever do, right? And it seemed like a good idea, right? And I don't regret any of the things that I learned in the military. It absolutely opened my eyes. But when I came home, right, I'll never forget this car ride. It was the last time that I seen him as well, too, right? One day I'm hanging out by his house. He's asking me like, "Oh, yo, so how was it in the military? How's everything going on, right?" And up until this point, I didn't even really want to talk about it because, for one, this was the guy that convinced me to, go and join the military, do all these kinds of things. And I was like, everything that you told me, everything that I thought about the United States, everything I thought about the military and what we're doing, what's going on in the world is an absolute lie. Barack Obama is dropping bombs in Africa. He's killed more black people than any president in U.S. history in Africa. Okay? Barack Obama is dropping hundreds of thousands of bombs. Libya was the closest thing to a first world nation. He lied to us and told us that he's going to create a humanitarian no-fly zone over Libya, yet he killed hundreds of thousands of black people. Then ISIS came and killed even more and then started selling people off into slavery. Billy, what are you talking about? That's crazy. That's that white people stuff you're talking right now. And I'm like, bro, this is what's happening, right? I was actually in the military. I supported these missions.
Seen it. You've
right?
seen it, yeah.
I mean, I wasn't in Libya. Don't get me wrong. I handled support missions from England, but like, I seen what happened, right? While the CNN was telling all you guys that everything was a success. Al Jazeera, Press 24, all these other news television, all these news television stations are telling you the complete opposite. Like, yo, people are dying out here. We're killing people. We're bombing hospitals. We're doing all this, right? I could show him on my own, on my phone or anything like that. He did not want to believe it. Instead, I'm the crazy person. I'm the asshole. I don't like my own skin color because I won't support the first black president. The guy that I voted for and supported and fought under. I'm the bad guy.
I mean, dude, that's very similar to remember when BLM, the Summer of Love, and CNN was literally out there standing in front of a burning project building going, it's a mostly peaceful protest. There's a fire. That fire was more real than the Canadian fire. That's actually happening behind you. Be like, it's pretty peaceful here. There's like gunshots and people running with TVs and shit. It's pretty peaceful out here. But, like I said, we can't. That's why we do this show. Hopefully you get a new person every episode that checks us out, that watches one of our reels, that opens their mind. And we're not telling you to take everything we say to the bank. But I hope that when you watch me or Billy speak, you just question for yourself, because that's all that happened to me. Is I didn't listen to guys like me.
Right.
I just started to ask questions.
Exactly.
And
That's
when-
all you ask.
And when you ask questions, that means you're seeking answers. And when you find out the answers to the questions you actually find out later you don't want the answers to, you can never go back in the
You
cage.
can't. You can't, bro. You can't unsee what you see.
No. Well, moving on. What do we got here? So, did you hear about this? So,
No,
the
I did
state
not
of
hear
New
about
Jersey has actually sued 3 school districts over the transgender notification policy. So now, if you don't know about
Oh,
this,
God.
Phil Murphy, right? We haven't talked about Phil a lot. He's been pretty fucking quiet.
Because he's a lame duck right
Yeah, he's
now.
a lame duck because he's not doing anything.
Right.
Phil Murphy has basically signed it in that now schools can keep information from parents about if their kids want to transition or not. They don't need to notify the
Purely
parents.
demonic, bro.
And there was a couple 3 school districts were like, no, we're not signing up for this. And the state of New Jersey is actually suing them because apparently they don't care about these kids' lives because they're going to notify their parents. What if their parents don't want to let them cut their wieners off at fucking 14?
But we decide what's best.
Right, because the government is your god. Right? Just like Mao Zedong in China. We talked about this last week. They want you to believe that the government is God. They know what's best. Not your parents, not your family, not your friends. Us. The people you trust. We wouldn't hurt you. Could you imagine the state suing school districts for standing up for parental rights and saying, no, you need to tell parents what's going on with their children?
No, we're the state. We know what's best for your
It's
children.
crazy, man. It's absolutely mind-boggling. More of this is going to develop, and we will carry this. But as of right now, this is really all it is that the state of New Jersey is trying to go after schools for just trying to, like, you know what? Again, the state is assuming that the parents are going to reject what the kid wants, and rather than giving the parents and the children an opportunity to sit down together and talk.
Even if the parents do reject it, right? Not only did the parent make that child, they're solely responsible for everything that happens to that child. If that child doesn't go to school for whatever reason, the truant bus picks them up, they're coming to go and wreck the parents and going to make their lives very difficult, right? Even though the parents have the full say, and they should have the full say. This is my child. I raise this kid. I clothe this kid. I feed this kid. I guide this kid. I teach this kid. You are there to educate the kid, teach them basic arithmetic, reading, writing, and the basics,
Yep.
right? Yet, now you're starting to push an agenda onto these kids.
But they're not coming for the kids.
They're 100% coming.
Go to
for
the
the
next
kids.
slide.
They're 100%. There's more of this madness.
They're not coming for your kids, Billy.
Please tell me you got the video.
No, I don't have the video.
Okay,
but
well-
they're not coming for. So a couple of weeks ago,
I made a reel about this.
I know, I saw it. That's why I wanted to put it. So about a week or two ago, there was an LGBT parade for Pride in, I guess, New York, right? It was in New York.
It was in
City?
New York, yeah.
New York City, and they were chanting, "We're here, we're queer, we're coming for your kids," right? And now they have caught a whole bunch of heat because, again, right, people like Billy and myself and a lot of other people we know were like, this is an attack on indoctrinating children. And what was the response? They're not coming for your kids.
Yeah.
They're not coming for your kids. So now they're chanting it, and it's backfired, and now there's 2 separate stories. The first one is going, well, this was just us joking because you guys kept saying that we were coming for your kids. So it was basically them.
Read what it says.
So they were saying that they defended the drag queen march, saying that we're coming for your kids, a chant that they now claim they have been using for years, right?
Which is even worse. That doesn't make it any better.
Is how we've been using this for years, guys. This isn't news. And then they said, well, we looked it up, and no, you haven't. And they said, well, then you took it out of context. It's all just words. And we did this because it's all presented to fulfill the worst stereotypes in us. We're coming for your children chant has been used for years, Twitter added, but there is no proof of these claims.
Twitter
so
added a community. See, this is one thing that pisses me off here about these community notes thing, right? It's like I don't believe Twitter is as free as everyone's making it seem.
It's
under
not.
Elon Musk, bro.
It's not.
Because honestly, I've noticed an insane drop in engagement under Elon Musk. And when things like this happen, where it's like, yo, bro, like this is obviously freaking crazy, you still have all this censorship, and we're gonna kind of.
Well, no, he was saying the note of saying they're saying, well, we've been saying it for years. Twitter note says, well, we actually looked, and you guys have never
Twitter
said
did
this.
that.
Twitter said,
Oh.
no, you're lying. You
Typically it
never,
backfires
you
when I
guys
see it.
never said this. You guys never said this. This is something new. So they originally wanted to be cute and make a joke, like, oh, you keep saying we're coming for your kids, like we're gonna chant it in the streets, and like. It's not funny.
No,
It's not
it's
funny
not at all.
Like if somebody was like accusing me of being like a murderer or being violent, and I went out there and I was like, I'm gonna kill you, and then you came for me, and you're like, yo, I'm just joking. Like, would you know the difference?
Absolutely not.
If I've been accused of being a certain person, and then I go out and I make a joke about being that person, when I get in trouble for being that quote unquote person you said I am.
Like that book that O.J. Simpson wrote.
If I did it, this is how I would do it.
Right? Like, yo, bro, you definitely did it.
Yeah, right? He was like, I didn't murder her, but if I did, this is how I would
do it.
You know what I mean? So again, this is a poor joke. Whether you are coming for the kids or not, we have our beliefs and we believe what it is because we're seeing it. The state of New Jersey is literally suing schools that want to notify kids' parents about what their kids are feeling in school. So don't tell me this isn't an assault on childhood. Because it is.
I'm gonna say something that's a little bit that I know a lot of people are gonna find controversial.
Oh boy.
And I know that there's a lot of people that are like, well, Billy, you're running for office. You shouldn't say those kinds of things, right? But
Here it comes.
when this country was started, right? We fought against the British because we just didn't like the way that they were running our country. We didn't like the things that were going on, to the point that we said, we're gonna shoot you in the face. Right? We're gonna pick up guns, we're gonna fight you, we're gonna go against that, right? The last thing I want to see in this country is war. Actual war within the United States. Because for one, many Americans are not ready
soft.
to even they're soft,
They're
right?
soft.
We get steamrolled. That's number one. Number two, though, is the Constitution specifically tells you that if your government becomes corrupt, you have the right.
No, not the right. You have the obligation.
You have the obligation, correct.
The obligation. That's a bigger word than right.
Right. You have
Go
the
ahead.
obligation to remove and install
Start
a
fresh.
new government.
Start
a new
fresh.
government,
Yeah.
Right?
That's an insurrection, Billy. Can't talk like that.
That's my point.
You can't talk like
That's what
that.
I said, and people
Yeah.
were going to say that.
Yeah.
People were going to say, like, you can't talk like that. It is in our fucking Constitution.
Yeah.
This is not
Yeah.
what we elected them to do.
No.
We did not elect them to tell people that your children are going to do. We're going to believe whatever they say. We're going to do whatever they say.
Yep.
And there's nothing you, the parent, can do about it. In fact, you're going to continue to pay the taxes, and you're going to fund this operation of us doing this to your children.
When tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty.
It's the duty at this point.
Right? And again, I'm not here advocating for war or violence,
It doesn't have to be violence to even do
but
this.
rebellion can mean a bunch of things, right? And people standing up, it's a form of rebellion. People speaking out is a form of rebellion.
Correct.
Obviously, yeah, people fighting is obviously the most common form of rebellion.
Correct.
But again, and I was thinking that, and like, I didn't want to say that because, again, I know people are going to run with that, but like, I was reading that, and I was like, it literally states that when your government becomes too tyrannical, and right, there's people like, this isn't tyranny. They're out here
tyranny.
helping. Tyranny is I guess, again, we're talking about the same people that are so fucking programmed, they don't even know they're programmed. They don't know they're walking around with the antenna in their fucking head, getting the signal directly to their cerebral. You know, they don't know. They think they're out here living free. You know, chanting fucking. They have a guy that comes and goes, "This is what we're going to chant at the protest." They're not free thinkers. So, again, when the government oversteps, it's the duty, the
Correct.
obligation of the country to step up and say no. Right? Benjamin Franklin, you know I love my guy Benjamin Franklin, said that we have a republic if we can keep it. We're at that point right now of if we can keep it. That's what the inside of Carrie Lake's book says on the first page.
I don't doubt it.
I opened it up. I read the first
I was
part,
planning
and
on
it
reading
said,
it tomorrow night.
no, but I saw it, and I was like, it's Benjamin Franklin. You have a republic if you can keep it.
Dude, you know what's the, and I'm probably going to get slack for this as well, too, because in District 9, some of my biggest supporters are the police.
Yeah.
Right? I love the police. I've always supported the police. I've backed
Yeah.
the police. The police have an obligation, right, to protect and serve, right, to uphold the Constitution and to,
Not just your paycheck and pension.
correct. But that's what they're doing now.
No.
And the truth is like, even if everybody showed up, right, without a permit, let's say, at the State House in Trenton, right, those police officers are going to look at their pension, they're going to look at their paycheck, and they're going to arrest the citizen because the
Yeah.
governor said no, right? And the worst part about it is, even though there's more people than there are police or even the military in the
Yeah.
state, the people are still afraid to even
Yeah.
stand up and make their voices heard. And the police and the military will defend
Yeah.
what the state says to ensure their future.
You know, I watched something, and it really comes down to numbers and people joining together. And we said this before. You could literally correct everything that's wrong with society and our government in less than a day.
Absolutely.
Imagine if on a Monday, right? This coming Monday, hear me out, everyone at home. Imagine if this coming Monday, everyone decided, 30 million people decided not to buy gasoline, right? Imagine if 30 million people decided not to go to work.
Right.
Imagine if 30 million people decided not to go out to eat. Imagine if 30 million people decided they weren't going to pay tolls on the roads, right? You could imagine if 30 million people went to their financial institutions and asked to clear out their money, which you know you can't because only 15% of money is actually in paper form. The rest is fake zeros and ones, right? You could cripple this entire system. You could take back the power. But the problem is I know I'd show up. I know Billy would show up. I call Billy and be like, yo, we ain't going to fucking work on Monday.
Fuck it.
But you know what? If 2 guys don't go to work, nothing changes. Nothing. If 30 million people don't go to work, you completely dismantle the matrix.
Yeah. It's like when union workers go out to a job and like they get screwed.
They pick it.
And they say, yeah, we're going to go pick this. And the guy's like, oh, I got to go put the food on the table still, right? Well,
Yep.
then, you know, you're in that same situation.
Right.
Like, for example, bro, do you remember this? I actually had to look it up just to confirm if it was Iceland or if it was Greenland, but it was Iceland.
Oh, yeah, it's my country,
Right?
baby.
So remember, in 2014, Iceland, they round up all the corrupt bankers that were in the state and they arrested them without a single shot being fired. The people said, no, fuck you. You are destroying our country. We're getting rid of you right now.
Yeah.
There's no reason why that can't be done in the United States right now. The problem is, like I said, the law enforcement, the military, the people that have the authority to actually uphold the law would rather value their pensions and their paychecks than actually doing their duty and upholding the Constitution. And that's the most frustrating bit right now.
It really goes to the part of where is your line?
It's
Where
long
is your-
since been crossed.
Well, yeah, for us, but for other people, how much more do you need to see before you say, like, it's gone too far? You know? Moving on here. Oh, man, we're running back. So
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
So the USDA has now approved the use of lab-grown meat. I was trying to run the show
That's
a
what it
little
looks
shorter,
like?
but we had some good show. I don't know, it's just a picture of chicken. Looks shitty, though.
That's not chicken,
That's
bro.
white people chicken, bro. They don't
That's not
season
even
that shit.
chicken, bro.
So anyway, lab-grown meat has been cleared. Here's what you need to know. Go to the next slide.
That looks like the
CNN is
hydrated
trying to
mango.
sell this to you like this is a good thing, right? Lab-grown meat is a good thing.
What's so great about that?
Oh, I'm going to tell you what's so great about that. For one thing, growing meat from cells means that people can eat meat without having to slaughter animals. All right, look, I get that. Cool. The cells it gathers is from fertilized chicken eggs, and it's stored in a cell bank and can be used for at least 10 years. Animal cells can come from animal biopsies or even feathers, right? There is environmental consideration as well as agriculture, particularly animal agriculture. Overhauling this system could ease the burden on the planet. Go ahead to the next slide.
This is disgusting.
Hold it there for a second. I was a vegan for 4 years, and I ate this lab plant-based meat that's full of garbage and bullshit, and I did it because I thought I was helping the environment and I was lowering my carbon footprint and I was helping people and I was making things a better place. And I tell you right now, like, I woke up and I will never go back to eating anything made by these people, by scientists. There's a guy in a fucking lab. I'd rather a hillbilly from Texas slaughtering my chickens than this, right? They literally, I couldn't cut the whole article. It's talking about how this stuff comes out of a tube, and it looks like minced like Play-Doh, and they're gonna form it into these little patties.
It's like, what's the point,
bro? Because this is that new world order shit, right? You won't have a car. You'll stay in your apartment. You'll eat lab-grown food. We won't need animals. We won't need agriculture. Everything you get will come from a plant that you'll probably work at.
It's like that movie Soylent Green. You ever seen that?
Yeah. Or it's like that movie fucking Wall-E,
Yeah.
where everyone lives on the same ship. They don't leave. They sit in their chairs. They talk on their TV sets. They get food in a tube. They get told what color clothes to wear. Blue is the new red. And they hit a button and change their clothes, and nobody pays attention to what's going on. And this is the next step. They were trying to push you eating plastic as a form of protein a couple of months ago, and they said, Dave, you're crazy. They're not going to make us eat plastic.
Yeah.
Now they're going to want us to eat chicken stem cells.
Y'all pass, bro.
Yeah.
Because y'all pass, bro. I'll pass. Because like that sounds like a one-way ticket to getting cancer, bro.
100, bro, stop.
It's not even
so
normal.
I wanted to go to this because, again, last week of Men's Health Month, right? Last week of Men's Health Month, I wanted to talk about the things that men and women, obviously, but men should be looking out for when they put into their body. Now go to the next slide, Juan. So these are some of
okay.
the chemicals
Yeah.
and food additives that go into our food, right? I can't even pronounce any of these things, right?
Bisphenol A.
But what they use, hardened plastic containers. Look at what it does. Now, this is the most important thing when it comes to men's health, right? Look, can act like estrogen in the body, increase body fat, nervous and immune system problems. Okay, first thing, go to the next one, right? For plastic tubing and industrial food production. What does that one do? It can affect the male genitalia, childhood obesity, metabolic and fundamental problems in cardiovascular system. Okay, the next one, immune response, birth weight, thyroid hormone problems, metabolism, brain damage. The next one,
Oh my
hormones. The next one, hormones, fat. So everything they put in your body, Billy, as a man, is to make you less manly, fat, and have fucking thought problems.
Nitrates is also why I try and avoid bacon as much as possible.
Go to
That
the
stuff's
next
terrible
slide.
For you.
These are the scary
High
7.
fructose. Oh,
This is
man.
the stuff that men, I want you to watch out for. Come back to our camera one, because I'm just going to read it off. But I want men to understand this is the things that are in everyday products that we don't even pay attention to. Things you need to stay away from. High fructose corn syrup.
Absolutely.
Everybody's heard that one. That's
Terrible.
what's in your soda. That's what's in your candy. That's what's in your snacks. Trans fat, right? We're not talking about pride fat here. We're talking about the bad shit. We're talking about the stuff that causes heart disease, diabetes, and cancer, right? The homogenized oil, the soybean oil, that stuff that makes shit taste really fucking good. It's really bad for you. Artificial flavors, right? When you see things like, fruit-like flavors.
Fruit-like.
Or when you read a can of like coconut juice and it says may contain juice, like
May
prob-
contain
put that shit down, okay? Monosodium glutamate. Side effects, chest pains, heart palpitations, headaches, simulates taste buds causing us to eat more, right? They put that in food that makes you hungry, just like they put sodium in things like Coca-Cola to make you thirsty. Artificial colors. The number one thing is red dye 40.
Yeah.
That's the worst. Or is it 5? Red dye
Red
5?
5.
One of the worst chemicals, and it's in fucking everything.
Yeah.
Everything. In Skittles, in gummy bears, in soda, in candy, in snacks.
You know,
everywhere.
You know something funny about you mentioning the Red 5, bro? It's like when the first time I went to England, the first thing that I noticed is like when you look at the back of stuff, like they don't have Red 5. They would have like beet juice. And I'm like,
Yeah.
why is there beet juice? Like, well, it's for the coloring. It's so that
Yeah.
it looks red. We use the beets, or
Yeah.
we get turmeric to
Yeah.
make orange and all these other things. They don't use artificial colors.
Right.
In fact, it's super illegal to do that.
Artificial sweeteners, aspartame, things like in diet soda and all these things were
That's why I
like,
don't
it's
chew gum
zero
like that.
sugar. It's zero sugar, but it's full of aspartame, which causes fucking cancer.
Yeah.
Right? You have all these different stuff. And then preservatives, right? All these things that make it. Now, why, Dave, why are you talking about this? Other than the fact of men's health, we just talked about how the government now is approving man-made lab-grown meat. And if you don't think it's going to be full of trans fats or artificial flavors or monosodium glutamate or artificial colorants or preservatives or sweeteners,
You're out of
you're
your mind.
fucking wrong.
You're out of your mind if you don't think it is.
Because they just said that this shit lasts for 10 years. You can't do that without preservatives.
Exactly.
You can't do that without these trans fats. How are you going to make something that's not chicken taste like chicken without coloring, without fructose, with all this stuff that's in it? That
Chicken-like flavor.
So again, we're going to take your cars. You're going to live in your building. You're going to eat food from a tube. You're going to dress how we want to, watch the news we tell you to do, get shot when we tell you to take the goddamn jab, and you will ask no questions, and you'll be so happy because you know what? You saved the environment. By the way, we got rid of coal fire ovens. Enjoy your artificial pizza. That comes from the tube too.
You'll own nothing and you'll be happy.
Own nothing and be happy. So I want men and women to take a look at this, screenshot this if you have to. You can type it in Google. It's called the Scary 7. These are the things, right? Kim was asking me, like, when we went outside,
NaturallySavvy.com.
she was like, can I eat this? Can I eat this? Right? And I'm like, look, I'm glad you're asking the questions. Turn that label around because there's stuff that you think is healthy. And you're like, holy shit, look at these ingredients.
If you can't pronounce it,
Red,
don't eat
it
it.
is red dye 40.
It is
Red dye 40. It just popped in my head. I remember seeing it. Red dye 40, right? You want to look at the trans fats. You want to look at the sugar content, the sodium levels, right? All of these things are made to keep you addicted to a system that does not care about you and wants to see you fail. Dude, it's scary. And again, you remember me. I was vegan. And when I turned over these packages and I saw the preservatives, the fats, the artificial flavors, all the goo. You never seen South Park where the guy came to town to sell Beyond? He's like, I'm a goo salesman.
Nah, I
They're
haven't
like,
seen that
what's
episode.
that? Dude, you got to look it up. And they're like, what's that? He's like, I sell my goo to people. And he's literally just selling it to all the fast food chains.
Oh, no, I didn't
There
see
was
that
a
episode.
study that said that the fucking Beyond Whopper has more estrogen than a treatment that they would give a woman.
I don't doubt it, bro. I don't doubt it. Why go to the hospital to eat one of those damn burgers, man?
Moving on. I think we're at Sheep of the Week now. We are. We are.
Sheep of the week. Dave, you're going to love this one. And everybody at home, you're really going to love this one, man. We were talking about affirmative action. Was that the first or second story we opened up with, right? First story,
second
right?
story, yeah.
So,
Affirmative
yeah,
action.
so we started off with affirmative action. We're going to end with some,
Affirmative action.
I guess, affirmative backwards action, right?
This is exactly the same people that were on Twitter today calling affirmative action being removed racist.
Black people can't make it. But
Let's
now watch
this
video.
video.
And this was what, Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
Hey, hang on, before you press play, right? Just read the headline, right? White guy sobs for getting a black man arrested. The black man was brandishing a knife and threatening to stab his family to death. Listen closely to this.
Play this. Play this.
He was arrested and charged with simple assault and terroristic threats.
Why is it happening? I'm being arrested? Yes. For what?
I'll be with you just 1 second.
Are you arrested?
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to leave alone.
But still, I will need for you to fill out a statement for him.
I don't want him arrested. I just want him to leave us alone.
I know, but he had a weapon on him, and it was terrorist threats.
Brandishing is not a crime with a knife. Brandishing is only a crime
He's a
for
lawyer.
a gun.
Terroristic threats, though, sir.
Because he said die to me
Because he
and
said
had his
die.
knife out.
And has a
What-
knife out.
All that was done. The threats, everything.
Here it comes.
Let me get a
I
statement.
thought you were going to arrest him. I wouldn't call. I just wanted to leave us alone.
I understand, but we still have a job to do.
Now he's gonna think I'm doing this because I'm white and he's black. Or he's homeless and I'm not. I don't want
But did he do what he did?
Yeah, but I don't want him thinking I did it because he's in whatever situation he's in. I just want him to leave us alone.
I doubt that.
You know what's the funniest part
Yo,
about that video?
That shit
bro?
made me so mad when you
Bro.
put that in the chat, bro.
Bro, you know what I think is the funniest part of this video is like I'm listening to the tonality of like the police officer, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, but she sounds like she's black.
She sounds black.
right?
That's racist.
But she also sounds like perplexed, like
Like, bro.
yo, like I'm black arresting a guy that's
black.
also black, but
Yeah.
he pulled out a knife and said he wanted to kill you. Like,
But
what
you
the
hear
fuck
the
am I
guy's
doing
like,
here,
you're
man?
arresting him for what? She was like, because he had a knife. And what? Because he told me to die? Brandishing isn't a crime. Like,
What are you, dumb?
This guy was out here like trying to give legal advice to the guy. You called the cops on. First of all, and I'm gonna break this down, and I want you to weigh in on this. This shit made me so mad. If you are this man, lady's wife. Probably you probably
Probably husband.
I mean, probably was a husband. But if you are a woman and you're married to this man, fucking leave him. Take the children. Get alimony because he is not going to keep you safe.
No.
That man is not going to provide for you. That man cannot keep you safe. Because I tell you what, if you rolled up on me and my kid and my woman at a fucking park, I'm not calling the police. I'm
No.
calling a fucking
No.
ambulance.
And you know, I think that's even more telling, bro. It's like I think it was maybe like episode 3 or 4 we were talking about gun rights. And we mentioned how if you don't have the right to defend yourself and you have to call someone to defend you, right? That is obviously a problem. This guy said, I called people with guns to get rid of another man with a weapon
Just to leave him
that's
alone.
trying to kill me, to leave me alone. You don't have the capacity to do it. But not only that, you're so brainwashed to the point that you want him to show up, have a conversation with them like, hey, you can't pull out a knife and threaten to kill
Come
people.
on, buddy.
Okay, we're going to leave.
Dude, think about it. This kid,
Promise not to stab him.
this man was more concerned with this guy who just threatened to stab him and his family. He was more concerned about this guy thinking he did it because he was black than the safety of his fucking kids.
I don't care if that guy's magenta, bro.
I don't care, but think about the logic. He's out here not concerned about the safety of his well-being or his family's. He was concerned about the mentality of the guy that just told you he wanted to kill you.
I don't even care about you at this point. You're trying to kill me,
Bro.
bro. You're trying to kill me.
Not only are you sheep of the week, you are exactly the people that we are standing up because we don't want more people like you.
He is sheep of the millennium. You are sheep of the millennium. You have
You
been
fucking
fully
cried?
indoctrinated. Completely, fully indoctrinated. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Bro, I don't care what skin tone you like, dude. That's so that is when participation trophy era. Like that is what that is. Like he's gonna think I did it because no, that guy is like you called the cops on me because I pulled a knife out and told you to die.
Right.
I don't think that dude is sitting in the back cop car. He goes, it's because I'm fucking black.
Nah, dog. I'm pretty sure that guy knew what he was doing.
I'm pretty sure that guy would have done it to a black family. Except the difference is if he probably rolled up on another brother, that dude would have thrown the ones with him.
100%.
He'd be like, "What's good, bro?
Like, I'm not
let's get
backing
it, let's
down,
get it
bro.
popping, bro."
We're
Like
not
that,
calling the
that
cops.
dude would have died at the fucking park defending
Right.
his family.
You know what?
Well, it's also Seattle, bro. There's soy out there, man.
Seattle.
I went to Seattle and I kept a big bottle of Purell just to make sure I didn't lose. It's fucking really.
I have no desire.
It's
to ever
soft
go there.
out there, dude. Oh my
desire.
god, everybody's a hard-boiled egg without the shell.
Yo, you want to like invest in a life of crime? Don't go to like, Texas or something like that. Go to Seattle. Go to Chicago. Commit those crimes. You're not going to jail anyway, bro.
Yeah, go to like
I don't
these
want that
towns
crime.
that'll,
I'm just
that'll
saying,
fucking
if you're a
cry,
criminal.
and you can commit a crime, and then that person will be like, "I don't want them arrested."
Yeah, they're not gonna fight you back either.
No.
They're not gonna fight you back. You want my Zelle password? It's all yours, buddy.
You're trying to rob my house? It's okay. I don't want him to think I did it because, like, bro, fuck out of here.
He needs the Beamer more than me.
Yo, it's crazy. Well, that is all the time that we have for you guys today. We kept it under 2 hours. I really thought we were doing good.
yeah.
We were at like the hour mark, and I was like, we're gonna do it, and then
No.
But the show was good. A lot of people were watching, and I don't apologize. If you're watching this, I know you don't, because every single person that I talk to goes, man, you and Billy fucking crushing it. And there was so much good stuff to talk about today. It was good.
There's more-
Even Kim said it was good today.
Shout out to Kim.
Shout
Thank
out
you very much,
Kim.
Kim. I was about to say, you better not miss the horn, bro.
Yeah, he was like, I
tried to
guess.
press it like 3 times.
No,
and
but
this
no,
shit
we
didn't work.
appreciate you guys for sticking around. Again, next week, we talked about it this week. Next week, there was too many stories. We are going to have a number. We want some people to call in.
Yes, we're going to have a phone number live.
Yes, we are. I'm saying it live now, so we have to do it next week.
Yes.
Again, make sure you follow the host with the most. Billy Prempa is some guy named Bill on Instagram. We need to get him over 51,000 followers again.
Well,
That's
it's never
the
gonna
goal.
happen.
No, it's the
It's
goal.
locked. It's
We got to
locked.
get you the real videos. We're going to get it, bro.
It's
We're going to
locked.
get it.
It's
And you can
locked.
follow me on Instagram and not your typical politician. Again, thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yes, sir. And also follow the main Instagram page at Revive
I
US
forgot
America,
that
which
one.
now we have grown as well, too.
18,000 followers, boy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's go. We'll see you guys next week.
Yes, sir. God bless you guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Good night.
Paging Dr. Juan. 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 Paging Dr. Juan.